Chapter 242. Wong Mingling. Of course I remember. Di Lao's expression was a little complicated, but after struggling for a moment, he felt relieved. He sighed softly and slowly raised his hand to roll up his sleeves. Since you are here to assassinate this old man, then come at me. Wang Lan stood in front of Di Lao and said, Xiaozi, protect Di Lao and retreat. Wong Mingling, your scheme has been seen through. With so many teachers here, you don't have a chance. There is still a chance. I am now only 5 meters away from Di Lao. It is enough for me to make a move before they arrive. Brat, do you really think that you can stop me just because you want a match against me? If not for the fact that I don't want to attract the attention of the Heavenly Sword Bureau, I would only need an instant to kill you. Once she finished speaking, Wong Mingling's figure instantly disappeared. Phoenix form, open. In an instant, a bright red phoenix tail emblem appeared in between Wang Lan's eyebrows. Wang Lan's body immediately ignited with raging flames. The flames were like mist, and a terrifying aura surged out. He fiercely swung his fist and fiercely smashed it into the ground. Boom! The ground instantly cracked and flipped over. Gravel soared into the air, and a radius of 10 meters suddenly collapsed. Boom! Less than 2 meters in front of Wang Lan, a figure fiercely scuttled out from the ground. It was as fast as a ghost. The instant the figure rushed out, Wang Lan's fist carried 10,000 lightning bolts and bombarded it. Boom! 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 Countless lightning snakes struck the black figure, and the lightning wreaked havoc and roared. Amidst the endless smoke and dust, a figure instantly retreated and pulled apart the distance. This instantaneous exchange was completed within a second. Among the people present, other than a few Star Sea Realm teachers, Cebu Gakuin, no one clearly saw what happened. Layers of metal-like shell fragments fell off Wong Mingling's body with a crackling sound. The sudden exchange made Wong Mingling's heart palpitate. The Wang Lan in front of her was no longer the Wang Lan she fought before. With Ni Yushu as the leader, a few Star Sea Realm experts successfully rushed to Di Lao's side and protected him in the middle. Di Lao, are you all right? With Wang Lan around, what can happen to me? Ha! Looks like the little old man is being looked down upon. Back then, I also fought on the battlefield, and my blood dyed the mountains and rivers red. Teacher Yang, you escort Di Lao to retreat first. We will take care of things here. And Yushu said to a male teacher beside him. All right, be careful. Don't, Di Lao suddenly said. Everyone, step back a little. Let's leave this battle to student Wang Lan. Perform well and show this old man your true strength. The corner of Wang Lan's mouth twitched slightly. He felt that the old man behind him was not his right mind. They could have ganged up on him, so why do they have to fight one-on-one? Furthermore, you want me to challenge him one-on-one? Shouldn't everyone join forces to send Wong Mingling away? But he is Di Lao. He is the boss. Wang Lan had to listen to Di Lao's words, even if he was unwilling. What's more, with Di Lao's words, those expert teachers behind him would only support him and would not make a move. In any case, even if he was not a match for Wong Mingling, the teachers would not just watch Wong Mingling escape, right? The teachers behind him escorted Di Lao to the side, but the distance was not very far. The distance of 20 meters was enough for them to lend a hand at a crucial moment. The students in the stands left in an orderly manner under the teacher's arrangement. Only the aerial drones and cameras in every corner were watching Wang Lan and Wong Mingling. Di Lao, Wang Lan's current state is Phoenix form? And Yushu asked with some hesitation. That's right. It is indeed Phoenix form. In just a year's time, he was actually able to cultivate the first stage of Phoenix form to the second stage. This child might really be able to inherit Little Phoenix's mantle. Although this was the first time Yushu heard Little Phoenix's name, it did not prevent her from guessing that Little Phoenix was the Southern Yin Emperor. But Wang Lan is just an ordinary student of Sioux City. How did he learn the super S-grade forbidden technique, Phoenix form? Moreover, as far as I know, the cultivation conditions of Phoenix form are extremely harsh. It requires a pure fire attribute, and the minimum requirement to learn it is the galaxy realm. Even if these two conditions are met, only 1 in 10,000 people can cultivate phoenix form. Wang Lan, he clearly has two attributes, fire and lightning. Yet, he did not even meet the basic requirements to cultivate phoenix form. How? How'd he learn it? Where did he get the chance? And Yushu asked with an excited tone. This was the first reaction of most people when they found out that Wang Lan had learned phoenix form. It was simply illogical. Wang Lan's performance has already proven himself. He should not continue to hide. Di Lao's face showed a rare, serious expression. He is Little Phoenix's son. It is time for him to stand up. As for how he learned phoenix form, Little Phoenix used a part of his soul to nurture phoenix form in its body. Only when the phoenix form's star power stabilized did it engrave a part of his soul and phoenix form into the soul bead. His phoenix form was specially made for him by Little Phoenix. However, even with such conditions, he should normally only be able to use it when he is at the galaxy realm. However, the first Takashi Hoshi technique he learned was phoenix form. Di Lao's words made the expressions of the surrounding galaxy realm cultivators change. They looked at Wang Lan with even more fervent expressions. What was this? A rising star. The kind that could definitely soar into the sky. On the battlefield, Wang Lan's strength poured down on Wang Mingling without holding back. After Wang Mingling revealed his true body, he completely released his strength. His star power was at the peak of the galaxy realm. Coupled with his superb usage of Takashi Hoshi techniques, his strength was far beyond that of an ordinary peak galaxy realm cultivator. After Wang Lan activated phoenix form, his strength was close to the peak of the galaxy realm. His usage of Takashi Hoshi techniques was also not inferior to Wang Mingling's. The only difference between them was their battle experience. Combat experience could make up for some things, but some intuition could not be made up for. This kind of intuition was very important. For example, when facing a crisis or about to face a crisis, a certain subconscious reaction could help one avoid the crisis. This was an instinctive intuition that had awakened after countless life and death situations. It was this intuition that allowed Wang Mingling to avoid Wang Lan's terrifying killing moves time and time again. Even so, Wang Mingling's mentality was on the verge of collapse. He was losing his self-control and becoming more and more perverted. Why? Why was Wang Lan able to walk so smoothly? Why? How could a third-year high school student be on par with him? Why was it that a genius like him was sought after by tens of thousands of people, while a genius like him was betrayed by his family? Was it his fault that he had a strange, innate talent? Was it because he wanted to awaken this suspicious ability to control others? Was it because he wanted to devour souls? He didn't want to be seen as a monster. He wanted to be like all of you. He didn't want to be different. Do you think I'm doing research on forbidden techniques to endanger society? No, he never thought of it that way. He only wanted to change himself through learning. He only wanted to be a normal person. Why did all of you reject me more and more, treat me more and more with hostility, and even want to kill me without caring about blood ties? All of you are my closest relatives. All of you are my uncles who are related to me by blood. What could I do? I could only strike first to gain the upper hand. I betrayed my country, betrayed my humanity. Only by fighting could I feel that I was still alive. I wandered between life and death time and time again. Only then did I reach the peak of Takashi Hoshi in 30 years. But that legendary domain made me stagnate for 17 years. In order to take a peek at that domain, I joined the Birds of Paradise. What did I do wrong? All of this was forced by all of you. I didn't do anything wrong. I became like this because of all of you. Are you a genius? I'll kill you, I'll kill you. I'll make all of you regret it. Wang Mingling's expression gradually became distorted. He didn't look like a person anymore, but like a ferocious beast that saw its prey. The two of them fought from the ground to the air, and from the air to the ground. At their level, the heaviness of the earth and the lightness of the sky were no longer shackles that restricted them. Wang Mingling's most proficient earth element Takashi Hoshi technique was perfectly countered by Wang Lan's lightning element in his phoenix form. and the Black Emperor form obtained by taking over Mu Xiaoyan's body was unable to absorb the star energy of the Phoenix form. This was a battle that was completely evenly matched. The stands were already empty. The ones that remained were at least Nebula's peak teachers. The students and Sioux City's leaders had already left, but the surrounding equipment was still operating without any fear of danger. In front of thousands of televisions, each and every one of them was dumbfounded as they watched the battle in front of them. Although the battle process wasn't edited, the image would shake from time to time. But the brilliance of this battle still made countless people's blood boil. In the past, it was possible to search for videos of experts' battles on the internet. The videos were either blurry or fake. But what was happening in front of them was real. Oh my God, this is a Takashi Hoshi fight? It's not too much to say that it's a fight between gods, right? Do you think this is an impromptu show by the provincial organizers? Could it be fake? Fake my ass. Do you think this is a variety show? What do you think the provincial martial arts competition is? It's a serious event equivalent to the college entrance exam. And it's a college entrance exam specially prepared for the top students. Even if it's a drill, it's impossible to mess around here. The commenter above is right. This is definitely a real terrorist attack that's happening right now. But it seems that this terrorist attack has been seen through in advance. That terrorist is already a turtle in a jar. I'm thinking, can Wang Lan win? What if he can't? What can he do? What can he do? If Wang Lan loses, isn't there a large group of experts behind him? One kick from one person can turn him into an idiot. It's just a desperate struggle. Boom! There was a loud bang, and a terrifying wave of air swept out. Wang Lan used the method of exchanging injury for injury, hitting Wang Mingling's chest with a threefold 1-inch punch. On the other hand, Wang Mingling's sword cut through Wang Lan's shoulder and into his chest. Wang Lan took the initiative to exchange for this move, and it happened as fast as lightning. Even the teachers behind him couldn't save him in time. When the teachers came to their senses, Wang Lan was almost cut in half. Almost at the same time, everyone who saw this scene cried out in alarm. Even Lao couldn't help but frown. How many organs have been destroyed along the way from his shoulder to the chest? If it was anyone else, they would have died without a doubt. Cough, cough, cough. Wang Mingling retreated violently, and black blood kept spurting out of his mouth. There were pieces of flesh mixed in the blood. He won. Although he still died in the end, he still won in the end. Did you regret killing a genius that you all had high hopes for? Despair, just as a smug look appeared on Wang Mingling's face. Wang Mingling's eyes widened in the next moment. Chapter 243. Almost half of Wang Lan's body had been cut open, but he didn't fall down like he had expected. Apart from some blood that splashed out at the beginning, there was no more blood flowing out. The hideous wound on his chest healed at a speed visible to the naked eye, as if time was rewinding. Wah, the Wolf King has self-healing abilities. Ha ha! In terms of resistance, I won't submit to anyone except the Wolf King. F***CK, what is this? Is this a healing ability? No, this is an immortal body. How can it heal so fast? Only an immortal body can heal so fast. In less than 5 seconds, Wang Lan's injuries had healed, and there wasn't even a scar. Wang Mingling's slash was indeed very fierce, but the self-healing ability had already been activated the moment he was injured. Under the urging of the Phoenix Star power, he was already out of the state of death in 1 second, and out of the state of heavy injuries in 3 seconds. 5 seconds later, he was back to his peak state. However, although Wang Lan's injuries had healed, his clothes couldn't be repaired. 2 pieces of rags fell along Wang Lan's shoulders. Wang Lan gently waved his hand and tore off the rags on his body. In an instant, the star power around Wang Lan's body surged, and the door of the Star Palace suddenly opened. A stream of light rose, and a bronze phoenix rushed out of the Star Palace. The phoenix disintegrated in the air, turning into pieces of armor that covered Wang Lan's body. For the first time, the process of putting on the saint cloth was spread to thousands of people. Although there wasn't any exciting background music, this scene still made people's blood boil. Di Lao's astonished expression disappeared, and his eyes flashed. He didn't care about where this Star Palace divine weapon came from, but rather Wang Lan's healing talent. To be able to heal an injury that could instantly kill in a few seconds, this talent was unexpectedly powerful. After putting on the Saint Cloth, Wang Lan had returned to his peak state, but Wang Mingling, whose internal organs had all been destroyed, was like a lamb waiting to be slaughtered. Even if this Wang Mingling was just a clone that he had taken over. However, with his internal organs shattered, this body was more than 80% damaged. How much strength could he still exert? Wang Mingling, go to hell. Suddenly, Wang Lan's saint robe burned with a ball of scorching flame. The flame formed and suddenly spread its wings and flew high. The phantom of a phoenix appeared in front of everyone's eyes. Wang Lan's figure turned into a stream of light as he rushed towards Wang Mingling with a scorching gust of wind. Phoenix wings soaring heaven. Although he did not know the signature move of Phoenix constellation, but he still called out the name of Phoenix soaring heaven. Countless flaming fists rained down on Wang Mingling's chest like meteors. Wang Mingling was ravaged by the continuous fists, and he couldn't even put up a decent resistance. Wang Lan's continuous flame fists sent him flying into the air. Then, he was blasted from the sky to the ground. Boom! Like a falling meteor, the earth instantly collapsed. Within a radius of 10 meters, deep cracks like a tortoise shell appeared, and the spherical surface sunk at least 2 meters deep. As the smoke and dust slowly dispersed, Wang Lan stood on Wang Mingling's chest. He lowered his head and looked coldly at Wang Mingling, who was lying on the ground and didn't even look human anymore. Although the flames around his body didn't spur out like before, they were still burning vigorously. You lost. Wang Mingling's empty eyes looked at Wang Lan with hatred, and his finger suddenly twitched slightly. Boom! Wang Lan instantly punched down, and the entire ground sunk another meter. Wang Mingling's body was directly merged with the ground by Wang Lan's punch. Leapfrogged kill, reward, 2,000 experience points, 100 skill points. Successfully resolved the demon's conspiracy, reward, 10,000 experience points, 1,000 skill points. Successfully obtained a reputation achievement, attention of the masses, reward, 10,000 experience points, 1,000 skill points. 3 notifications in a row made Wang Lan so excited that he almost jumped on the spot. Seeing the dust settle, the teachers behind him couldn't help but secretly sigh in relief. As for Di Lao, he slowly took off his sunglasses, revealing a pair of bright and spirited eyes. Now that this is settled, it's time to end the other side. Suddenly, a powerful aura that seemed to cover the entire sky swept over. In an instant, Wang Lan's body tensed up, and his hair stood on end. This was an indescribable feeling, like the despair of an ant facing the vast power of nature. All of a sudden, everyone turned around. Di Lao's body was already covered in golden light. Within the golden light, Di Lao was still the same Di Lao, but he gave off a feeling that he had transcended the mortal world and entered the divine world. The golden light flashed, and Di Lao's figure disappeared. In the Heavenly Sword Bureau, tens of kilometers away, the intense battle was still going on. Although a large number of reinforcements had already rushed back, the demons had used some unknown method to open up 5 alternate dimensions around the Heavenly Sword Bureau. Exotic beasts wreaked havoc, running toward the bustling commercial district not far away. The bustling commercial district was densely populated. Once the exotic beasts charged into the commercial district, the consequences would be unimaginable. Given the choice between the Heavenly Sword Bureau and the lives of the citizens, the Heavenly Sword Bureau would naturally choose the citizens. However, this would definitely delay the time needed to reinforce the Heavenly Sword Bureau. Lu Zhao ordered Li Weixin to hold on, while pushing Wang Qianfeng and the others to quickly destroy the 5 alternate dimensions. Unknowingly, 20 minutes passed. The demons were still fiercely attacking the Heavenly Sword Bureau, and the Heavenly Sword Bureau's defensive line was in imminent danger. On the other side of the battlefield, The exotic beasts wreaking havoc from the alternate dimensions had already been annihilated by the Heavenly Sword Bureau's elite warriors. In order to prevent even a single exotic beast from entering the populated district, the Heavenly Sword Bureau had paid a heavy price. Go! Reinforce the headquarters. Lu Zhao fiercely shook off the green blood on his face and shouted savagely. Just as he was about to move, the color of the sky suddenly changed. Golden light sprinkled over the world. Lu Zhao raised his head abruptly and saw a golden figure hovering above the clouds. Lu Zhao looked over and recognized Di Lao through the layers of golden light. Di Lao. Lu Zhao was instantly overwhelmed with shock. Although the 5 elders were prominent and had honorable statuses, there were very few records of their strength. Everyone knew that the 5 strongest people in the Jade State were the 5 emperors. The 5 elders were merely the 5 elders who had nurtured peerless geniuses like the 5 emperors. Di Lao hadn't fought for nearly 30 years. 30 years ago, Di Lao was indeed a Star Sea Realm expert and a renowned titled expert. However, as he grew older, his strength must have regressed. The outside world guessed that the 5 elders' strength had most likely fallen below the galaxy realm. However, at this moment, Lu Zhao realized how laughable the outside world's guesses were. His own Star Sea Realm cultivation, in front of this imposing aura, was like an ant facing a gale of heaven and earth. Although he did not know how the other elders were doing, at least Di Lao was not weak, even though he had aged. In fact, he was countless times stronger than he was 30 years ago. In the sky, Di Lao gently stretched out a finger. In an instant, countless golden lights turned into rain and fell to the ground. The golden lights hit the demons, demon soldiers, and even the traitors of the birds of heaven. None of them could dodge the attack of the golden lights, and none of them could survive under the golden lights. In the blink of an eye, it was as if the raging flames had melted the ice and snow. The entire world suddenly quieted down. Everyone raised their heads and stared blankly at the golden lights above their heads. They watched as Di Lao slowly descended like a god. All the special agents of the Heavenly Sword Bureau felt their souls tremble. Each and every one of them had rich pasts and stories that made people gasp in amazement. They should not have been stunned by the scene in front of them. However, the strength that Di Lao displayed had already exceeded their understanding. That boundless strength that was like the firmament made everyone fearful. The person that Wang Mingling wanted to assassinate. Is this kind of person? Su Shiyun rubbed his nose and muttered in a low voice. As Di Lao descended, the golden light around his body dissipated. He was once again an amiable and approachable old man. Although the Heavenly Sword Bureau in front of them had gone through a great battle, the demons had not been able to kill their way into the Heavenly Sword Bureau. Apart from the mess outside, the Heavenly Sword Bureau's buildings were still intact. No one had seen Di Lao display his invincible might, but the exciting scene of Wang Lan fighting Wang Mingling was transmitted to thousands of households through the television. After a short moment of silence, the internet boiled over. The Wolf King is awesome. The Wolf King is too strong. The strength that he displayed in the provincial martial competition was not even a tenth of his true strength. Especially at the end, when he wore the phoenix armor, he could even fly into the sky. The wind from his fist was actually able to shake a drone that was dozens of meters away. I dare say that if Wang Lan showed his true strength, no one in the provincial martial competition would be able to take a single blow from him. I completely agree with the above poster, but here comes the question. If Wang Lan is so strong, why did he have to fight so hard in the provincial martial competition? Every time, he had to go through a tough battle. Maybe he wanted to leave some face for his peers? If Wang Lan showed his true strength from the start, would the other students have any room to perform? He could have just fought a group of them by himself. That makes sense, but it's not that I'm jealous. I just don't understand. We're all high school students. We can understand if you're a little stronger, but it's really hard to understand if you're this strong. Above poster, don't say that you don't understand. We don't understand either. Let me put it this way. I'm also from Sioux City No. 1 High School, but I don't have the talent of a Takashi Hoshi. But let me tell you, Wang Lan is that kind of inhuman. Otherwise, where do you think he got the title of a prodigy? I'm willing to call Wang Lan the strongest high school student in history. Who agrees? Who disagrees? I agree. I agree. I disagree. I don't think we should call the Wolf King black. The title of the strongest in history is too black. Let's call him the strongest high school student in history. My 40-meter broadsword is already. Forget it. What you said makes sense. There's not much difference between being the strongest in history in the province and being the strongest in history in the country. The sensation that Wang Lan had caused in Jiang province spread like a virus in all directions. What happened in the province, and it was broadcasted live on TV, there was no way to hide it. Dilao didn't order the cameras to be turned off, and he left the battle to Wang Lan. He didn't have any intention of hiding it. Therefore, Wang Lan became famous. And when Wang Lan became as famous as a spicy chicken, he quietly returned home. When he found out that the Heavenly Sword Bureau was fine and that the demon spies and the traitors of the Birds of Paradise were all dead, there was no need for him to provide support. After the cool down of his phoenix form, with his small arms and legs, providing support would be like delivering food. When he got home, he didn't even bother to take a shower. He directly fell into a deep sleep on his bed. If it wasn't for the fact that he had activated the phoenix form so many times and had a certain degree of immunity to the after effects, Wang Lan wouldn't have been able to make it home. Chapter 244. By the time he woke up, it was already 3 in the morning. Although the days in May were long and the sun rose early, 3 in the morning was still the night before dawn. Wang Lan picked up his phone. The Heavenly Sword Bureau did not summon him, and Jiang Xinyu only left a message saying that she was safe when she was free. At this time, it was better to just tell her that she was safe. He lazily flipped his phone, and his fingertips touched something hard. He quickly got up, and the champion's reward box and medal were casually thrown on the bed. When he got home, he immediately fell to the ground. He did not even have time to look at it. The champion's reward was 1,500 skill points, and after defeating Wang Mingling, he received another 3,000 skill points. He saved 2,000 skill points in Phoenix form, and with the remaining skill points in the system, he had about 3,000 skill points. 3,000 skill points seemed like a lot, but things were different now. After a skill was upgraded to gold rank, it would cost 1,000 skill points to level up. Not all skills were like that, and the upgrade of Perplexing Phantom Track was not. After Perplexing Phantom Track was upgraded to gold rank, he realized that every level up required 1,500 skill points. Even if he used all 3,000 skill points on Perplexing Phantom Track, it would only be upgraded to gold rank 2. From this point of view, the difference between gold rank and gold rank was starting to show. After Wang Lan analyzed it, he suddenly understood that this difference was reasonable. Gold rank Takashi Hoshi skill, according to the Takashi Hoshi World's power classification, was an S-rank Takashi Hoshi skill. S-rank Takashi Hoshi skills were not weak, and the difficulty of learning them was also despairing. Flame Blade, Nebula Sword Dance, Crescent Moon Arrow, and Thunder Snake were all normal Takashi Hoshi skills, and the upgrade after gold rank also followed the normal path of 1,000 skill points. However, Perplexing Phantom Track was a teleportation skill and belonged to the category of spatial Takashi Hoshi skill. But why was Perplexing Phantom Track categorized as a non-elemental, shape-shifting Takashi Hoshi skill? The reason should be that the spatial node was within a single node unit. As a result, this Takashi Hoshi technique could be successfully cultivated even if one did not have a talent for space. This was a Takashi Hoshi technique that had been neglected. It looked like a flashing movement technique, but it was connected to the mysterious and powerful space element. Therefore, it was understandable that this Takashi Hoshi skill was harder to upgrade compared to other Takashi Hoshi skills. If that was the case, would there be other ways to level up the gold Takashi Hoshi skill? Wang Lan looked at the bottom of the Takashi Hoshi skill page, where there was only one Takashi Hoshi skill that was flashing with silver light. This was also Wang Lan's true Takashi Hoshi technique. As Wang Lan grew, the Takashi Hoshi bloodline ability, healing, evolved step by step. Previously, he felt that Silver Level 9's healing ability was enough, so he didn't rush to upgrade it to Gold level. He kept some skill points in case he needed them. There weren't many changes to the other skills after they were upgraded to Gold level. It was just that their power and functions had been strengthened. The New Moon Arrow was faster, farther, and more powerful. The Thunder Snake was faster and more numerous. The Flaming Blade had an additional ability to be controlled out of hand. The Nebula Sword Dance had more afterimages, the power of the sword energy, and the ability to move in the air. However, every time the healing skill was upgraded, Wang Lan felt like he had been reborn. When he was at Iron level, he could only passively heal himself. When he was at Bronze level, he could add active abilities to his passive skills. When he was at Silver level, he could heal others. What would the upgraded Gold level skill look like? Wang Lan was looking forward to it. After spending 100 skill points, the icon of the healing skill suddenly changed color. Not only did the color change, but the shape of the icon also changed. It suddenly turned into a blooming flower bathed in golden light. Wang Lan focused on the skill icon, and his expression froze. Life him, heal the surrounding injured targets, and recover their injuries. Of course, just understanding the literal meaning was not enough for Wang Lan to understand what the skill had changed. However, after the skill was upgraded, the usage of the skill was imprinted in Wang Lan's mind. Wang Lan could now heal without touching the target. In other words, he could heal from a distance. Currently, he could only choose one target within 5 meters of the target. However, Wang Lan felt that healing from a distance was not the limit. As the skill's level increased, the number of times he could heal would also increase. Moreover, the healing would not clash with any Takashi Hoshi skills. This was awesome. Wang Lan could heal the target while fighting. The rate of support on the battlefield was many times higher than before. However, when he saw the upgrade requirements for Life Him, Wang Lan's expression changed. Life Him, Gold LV1, 02000. Upgrading from LV1 to LV2 required 2,000 skill points. If the skill points were stable, it would be fine. Upgrading to Platinum only required 20,000 skill points. However, if the skill points increased along with the level, then upgrading to Platinum would require 55,000 skill points. That was more than double the cost. Although Wang Lan was dissatisfied with the difficulty of the upgrade requirements, he was still very satisfied with the increase in the skill's power. After sorting out his strength, Wang Lan discovered that after reaching Gold, his strength was still in its infancy. This was not difficult to understand. Gold LV1 was merely the entry level of a Gold Takashi Hoshi skill. Only after reaching Gold LV9 would one be able to unleash the full power of a Gold skill. It would seem that he would have to work hard to earn skill points in the future. After sorting out his strength, Wang Lan looked at the metal box on the bed. The box of the Provincial Martial Competition's Champion's Reward was always sparkling with gold. Of course, it was definitely not pure gold. Wang Lan gently opened the box. Inside was a jewelry box and a certificate of honor. Needless to say, Wang Lan knew what was written on the certificate of honor even without opening it. Wang Lan directly picked up the jewelry box and opened it. Suddenly, a fiery red soul, orb the size of a goose egg, caught Wang Lan's eye. This soul orb was slightly smaller than Wang Lan's fist, but much larger than an intermediate soul orb. It was fiery red, so it must be a fire soul orb. Wang Lan had never seen an advanced soul orb in his life, so Wang Lan could not tell whether this soul orb was an advanced soul orb or a larger intermediate soul orb. There was a piece of paper in the jewelry box. Wang Lan immediately took it out. Takashi Hoshi skill, Earth's Surging Sea of Fire. Attribute, Fire. Level, S level. Attack range, 30 meters in diameter. Battlefield practicality, 4 stars. Attack power, 4. 5 stars. Star power consumption, 4. 5 stars. After that, there was an introduction to the actual combat application of the Takashi Hoshi skill. This piece of paper introduced the S-level Takashi Hoshi skill in great detail, including its advantages, disadvantages, suitable conditions, and so on. This was a big gift, a real big gift. The honor of being the provincial champion was nothing in front of this prize. If Maigatsuk Castle and the others knew that the provincial champion would be rewarded with an S-level Takashi Hoshi skill, they probably wouldn't be so calm as to say that there was no benefit to winning and that losing would bring shame to their families. Was this called no benefit? Wang Lan picked up the soul bead and swallowed it in one gulp. In an instant, fire elemental astral power flowed from her hand into her body. The astral power rushed into the Star Palace, and the information contained in the soul bead crashed into Wang Lan's spiritual sea. Takashi Hoshi skill discovered. Spend 1,000 skill points to learn? Wasn't this bullshit? He quickly spent 1,000 skill points. Instantly, a brand new golden Takashi Hoshi skill appeared on the skill icon page. Only after learning this Takashi Hoshi skill did Wang Lan realize how special this Takashi Hoshi skill was. The attack range was 30 meters in diameter. It wasn't the attack range, but it covered an area of 30 meters in diameter. This was a Takashi Hoshi skill with an area of effect. Within 30 meters in diameter, the ground would burst into flames. As long as it was within range, it would attack indiscriminately. It was very powerful, but it also consumed a lot of star power. With Wang Lan's current level of star power, he could only use it once, and it would only last for a few seconds each time. All right, the organizers might have misunderstood the density of my star power. My star power consumption has already exceeded my limit. Shouldn't this Takashi Hoshi skill be given to Xiao Zi? Or perhaps it was originally prepared for Xiao Zi, but they didn't expect Wang Lan to win the championship. Then, when they saw that Wang Lan was also a fire type, they directly gave it to Wang Lan. They didn't even consider whether Wang Lan could use it. Although there were many complaints, it was still an S-rank Takashi Hoshi skill. What was there to be dissatisfied with? When Wang Lan saw the upgrade requirements for Takashi Hoshi, he was instantly dissatisfied. Like Life Him, it required 2,000 skill points to upgrade to Gold 1. He was already short on skill points, and now he had another Taotai skill. He could already foresee his future of hard work. Unknowingly, 2 hours had passed. At 5 in the morning, the sun was already high in the sky. Wang Lan got out of bed, brushed his teeth, washed his face, and changed out of his tattered clothes. He pondered over how he had returned home yesterday. It seemed like a teacher had sent him home. At that time, his mental state had been very poor, and he couldn't even remember some things. After washing up and changing into a new set of clothes, he was once again a mesmerizing, handsome man. Warning, warning, unknown people have suddenly gathered around the building. Should we initiate self-defense? Wang Lan, who had just finished brushing his teeth, was dumbfounded. Turn on the camera. Let me see who it is. Ever since Sinew Building was infiltrated by Crow's people, the Heavenly Sword Bureau allowed Wang Lan to add a defense system to the building. In fact, every Heavenly Sword Bureau special agent's home was a small arsenal. There were at least 10 guns. Wang Lan had been modified and linked to the functional robots, and then handed over to Xiao AI to command. However, Wang Lan had also imposed restrictions on Xiao AI. Only after receiving his explicit orders could Xiao AI use weapons to defend herself. The television screen turned on, and a group of media reporters with cameras and video cameras surrounded the Sinew Building. There were even more independent media personnel, anchors, and others who were rushing over from all directions. After a night of fermenting, Wang Lan, the famous provincial martial arts champion, had become their target. Since they were news reporters, it was fine. Wang Lan took his phone to the sofa and opened the 5-man group chat. The sun has risen, and it's another energetic day. Here you go. After sending the message, Wang Lan put down his phone, and the robot delivered a cup of fragrant coffee. Suddenly, his phone rang. It was a video call invitation. Xiao AI, connect to the TV monitor and accept the video call. Chapter 245. The TV turned on, and the 4 screens lit up almost at the same time. Damn, did the 4 of them have to be so tacit that they all clicked on video chat at the same time? Wang Lan, are you okay? Jiang Xinyu asked first. Of course I'm fine. I'm a man who can't be killed. I'll never get hurt in my life. Don't worry, I'm fine. Lan Zi, how's the headquarters? Su Xiangwen asked hurriedly. Lao Su, you don't care about me first, but you care about the headquarters? Nonsense. You're the man known as the Undead Wolf King. You'll be fine even if everyone in the city is killed. Why should I care about you? Tell me, how's the headquarters? It wasn't easy for me to get to a non-staff position. I don't want to become unemployed again. You're still a student. The headquarters is fine. Nothing's hurt. It's just that the lawn outside and the park were destroyed. Lan Zi, you're famous. You're the strongest high school student in the history of Jiang Province. You used to be famous in Sioux City, but now you're the most famous in the country. You're the #1 trending topic right now, Gong Feiyu said with a smile. So, this is why there's so many suspicious people outside my building, and why everyone is carrying guns and cannons. I was wondering why Xiao AI kept sending out warnings early in the morning. Fortunately, I stopped her. Otherwise, Xiao AI would have ordered a self-defense counterattack. Are you at home now? Do you want us to come over? Forget it. The people at the door are like cannibals. You'll be drowned if you come. I'll make a call first and ask the people in the station to clean up the people downstairs. Wang Lan, did Cebu Gakuin call you? Jiang Xinyu suddenly asked. Not yet. Maybe they know that I'll be recruited by the 4 Cebu Gakuin. The 4 Cebu Gakuin have to wait for 2 days for their recruitment calls. What about you? I've received a lot recently. Other than the 4 Cebu Gakuin, all the top Cebu Gakuin have sent out invitations. If the Big 4 don't choose me, I'll reconsider. Your performance speaks for itself. As long as the Big 4 aren't blind, they should be looking for you. Let's not talk about it for now. I'm hanging up. All right, Lan Zi, you have to check the internet. As long as you search for your name, you will know how popular you are now. Gong Feiyu hung up the phone with a mysterious smile. CSCC had not said a word since the video call connected. She only said one sentence when she hung up. I'm relieved that you're fine. Wang Lan did not call the police station. Instead, he called Hu Qing directly. There was no need for the Heavenly Sword Bureau to do anything to disperse the reporters. The superintendent could do it. Speaking of which, Hu Qing should be married by now, right? She seemed to have heard it from Jujia when she was on the phone with her aunt the other day. Back in the study, he turned on the computer and searched for Wang Lan. With a swipe, a row of website links appeared. The strongest high school student in the history of Jiang Province, Wang Lan. He, a prodigy, is still the most dazzling star even though he gave up his pen and joined the army. Wang Lan, Baidu Encyclopedia. A high school student who can take the world by storm, a young legend. There were so many that even Wang Lan felt a little embarrassed. As for the first video, it was also the one with the most views. Wang Lan clicked on it. It was a video link. After a second of buffering, the subtitles began to appear. July 2018. A young man has arrived at the intersection of life. His name is Wang Lan. He is a second-year student of Sioux City First High School in Jiang Province. He is also the prodigy that is widely praised in Sioux City. From elementary school until now, he has always been first in every exam. He is already invincible among his peers, invincible in Sioux City, and even invincible in Jiang Province. It's lonely at the top, but you can't get a defeat. Lonely as snow. He's spreading rumors. I definitely didn't think so back then. Am I that awesome? Although that was what Wang Lan thought in his heart, he was very happy. Following the narration and the video's image, a strong, coquettish air rushed out. Even as the person involved, Wang Lan could only praise the opening of the video. The scene changed to a bird's-eye view of Sioux City. He seems to have had enough of the loneliness of being invincible. So, on the day of his second year of high school graduation, the night of the beginning of summer vacation, he awakened the Takashi Hoshi talent in a situation where there was no soul resonance. Since he was invincible among ordinary people, why not venture into the world of Takashi Hoshi? After awakening, we don't know what Wang Lan experienced. But when he reappeared, he had already surpassed the initial stages of Takashi Hoshi and became a Takashi Hoshi of star blazing. The journey that others took 3 or even 5 years, he only took a single summer vacation. October 2018. Sioux City's third season of Takashi Hoshi Championship began. For many of our friends in Sioux City, that season of Takashi Hoshi Championship must have left a deep impression on them, because that season of Takashi Hoshi Championship was an unprecedentedly successful season. And for Wang Lan, that season was his stage to shine. Next was a clip of the masked Wang Lan's exciting battle in the Takashi Hoshi Championship. The 10-minute-long clip with exciting background music didn't feel long at all. Instead, it felt like it wasn't enough. The clip ended when Wang Lan defeated Chang Xuanyue in one move. The screen went black. A year's time is too short for a Takashi Hoshi. For many people, a year's time won't make much difference. But for Wang Lan, his world has been turned upside down. He doesn't have an extraordinary family background or a noble birth. However, he had an unbelievable talent and an unbelievable speed of growth. He used to be the prodigy of the normal school district, but now he's a Takashi Hoshi. I can almost hear him standing under the shining lights and saying to all living beings, "I'll let you guys run for 2 years first. That way, it'll be more challenging to kill you." 2 years. Wang Lan is at least 2 years later than all the other students in his year, maybe even more. But he only used 1 year to open up a gap of 10 years between them. High-energy attacks from the front. Suddenly, the exciting background music started and the clip changed again. In the provincial martial tournament, Wang Lan fought one exciting battle after another. Every dazzling scene was densely packed in the video. Not to mention the high school students. Even Wang Lan's blood was boiling. If you didn't explain it like that, I wouldn't have known that I was so awesome. In the end, Wang Lan defeated Xiao Zi and stepped onto the throne of champion. The music suddenly calmed down and the clip changed to the podium. Wang Lan stood on the podium with a calm expression. He's the champion of the provincial tournament. He's the champion of the provincial tournament of 8,000 high school. It had only been a year since he had changed his profession to a star martial artist and stepped onto the summit of all living things. A year is a short time for many people. But for Wang Lan, it's another peak. He has to endure the loneliness of being at the top and the loneliness of being invincible. How can life be so boring? F***CK. Wang Lan couldn't help but curse. Don't make me hate you like that. However, the bullet screen of the video was full of praises. Awesome, awesome, the author's editing is amazing. I can't find any reason to refute it. High-energy attacks from the front. Warning, warning. Hurry up and take the pills, or you'll have to bear the consequences. When Wang Lan put on the champion's medal, the screen suddenly turned black again. Do you think it's over? Do you think it's over? Boom! A violent explosion was heard as the song started, and the moving background music suddenly exploded. Then, it was Wang Lan's battle with Wang Mingling in his phoenix form. Whether it was the excitement or the momentum of the battle, the lighting and special effects were amazing. The strength that Wang Lan displayed at this moment was the true loneliness of being invincible. At the end of the song, Wang Lan stood quietly in the pit. Beneath his feet was Wang Mingling's severely injured body. This is Wang Lan, known as the strongest high school student in the history of the provincial tournament. He went from an ordinary person to the top of his cohort in just a year. Sometimes, I can't help but wonder what heights Wang Lan will reach in the next year. What kind of legend will he be 3 years later? Our generation is fortunate to be able to witness the rise of such a legendary figure with our own eyes. The video ended, but the comments were still increasing at a rate of 5 to 10 per second. After Wang Lan finished watching, he quietly turned off his computer. Although he had been popular before, he was the wolf cub with a mask on, not the Wang Lan whose real identity was now exposed. He didn't mind being famous, but he was a little worried. He didn't know if it would affect his life. Compared to the information on the internet, the Cebu Gakuin's analysis of Wang Lan was much more rigorous. Principal, provincial tournament champion Wang Lan is perfect in all aspects. His control of astral power, combat skills, combat intelligence, and even his potential are perfect. Even the 5 kings weren't as good as him in the past. If he is properly groomed, he will definitely be the next 5 kings. We should try our best to poach this student. Teacher Zhang, you're right, but the provincial tournament champions have always been Cebu Gakuen. How do we poach him? Principal, I've studied the recent cohort of students and found that they are becoming more and more confident and arrogant. As they receive more information, their choices become more rational. Although the rankings of the 4 Great Star Martial Academies were still far ahead, the students didn't like the arrogance in the bones of the 4 Great Star Martial Academies. Now, many students have a mindset that they would rather be the head of a chicken than the tail of a phoenix. I think Wang Lan should be the same. He will indeed be favored by the 4 Cebu Gakuen, but the 4 Cebu Gakuen have many experts and geniuses. Even if Wang Lan is recruited, he may not get the best resources. But we are different. As long as we promise to use all our resources to groom him, we still have a chance. Besides, Cebu Gakuen of Zizhou is not much worse than the 4 Cebu Gakuen. We have a mutually beneficial relationship with Wang Lan. We will do our best to groom him. When he becomes the new king in the future, he can also help our school become the 5th king. It's a win-win situation. You're right, but don't forget that there is another school in Jiang Province that is on par with us, Cebu Gakuen of Jinshu. That depends on who is more determined. The principal propped up his chin and thought for a long time before nodding silently. Secretly contact Wang Lan. You can name any conditions you want. As long as the school can give him something, I will agree. Okay. On the other side, the same conversation was being held at Cebu Gakuen School Leadership Meeting. To the Jin City Star Martial Arts Academy, they had the advantage of being in the province. Cebu Gakuen also had the ambition of becoming the 5th king. Wang Lan was the best opportunity for them to do so. Chapter 246. While Cebu Gakuen was busy calculating, the 4 Cebu Gakuen conducted research on Wang Lan in the conference room. In the Cebu Gakuen conference room, the observation teacher who had just returned from Jiang Province brought first-hand information on Wang Lan. Compared to the netizens who only knew how to make guesses, Cebu Gakuen's observation teacher had a more objective and detailed data analysis. Principal, the trip to Jiang Province this time was fruitful. 8 people met the school's recommendation criteria, but among them, I think Wang Lan is the best in Jiang Province. We can consider increasing the admission benefits. Oh, Teacher Wu, our school hasn't increased the admission benefits for almost 20 years. Is Wang Lan worth breaking the 20-year rule? A middle-aged teacher asked in a deep voice. Director Zhao, what if Wang Lan is the next 5 kings? Many people in the conference room laughed when they heard this. After so many years, they had heard too many people being called the next 5 kings. Although they were all amazing, they were still a little lacking compared to the 5 kings. After hearing the same thing too many times, it became a joke. Wang Lan, born in year 5002, awakened the Takashi Hoshi talent at the end of June in year 5018. Teacher Wu read the information. Wait, Director Zhao suddenly straightened his body. Teacher Wu, are you sure? Awakened in year 5018? He only awakened last year. It hasn't even been a year? Yes. He became the champion of Jiang Province after awakening a year ago. Director Zhao's expression became serious when he said this. To become the champion of Jiang Province in a year, either Jiang Province was too weak or he was too talented. That's right. He's also the strongest high school student in the history of Jiang Province. Mr. Wu, why don't you continue to talk about Wang Lan's uniqueness? The principal interrupted. Yes. Wang Lan awakened the Takashi Hoshi talent at the age of 16 and stepped in a star blazing 10 days later. In less than a year, he had broken through to Nebula in front of everyone at the provincial martial arts competition. Basic combat, A+. Combat talent, A+. Combat intelligence, A+. Takashi Hoshi's flaming blade, advanced. Nebula's sword dance, advanced. Crescent moon arrow, advanced. Thunder Snake, advanced. Phantom Track, advanced stage. Bloodline talent. Medical type healing, practicality. Rank S, potential. Beyond rank S. In addition, after the end of the competition, a terrorist attack occurred at the provincial martial arts competition. The international fugitive Wang Mingling attacked the venue. and Wang Lan faced him alone. He used the S-rank Takashi Hoshi skill, Phoenix form. The battle prowess he displayed was at the peak of the galaxy realm. What? As soon as he finished speaking, the meeting room fell silent. Even the principal of the Imperial Capital Star Martial Arts Academy was dumbfounded. You mean the Phoenix form? How far have you cultivated? I've already completed the second step of the first form of the Phoenix form. My entire body is burning with flames. I'm only one step away from turning my body into flames. Wang Lan is only in Nebula, but he can already master the Phoenix form. Is he Di Lao's disciple? When did Di Lao take in a new disciple? No. As far as I know, he's Yin Emperor's son. His Phoenix form came from Yin Emperor. Furthermore, he didn't learn it in Nebula. He broke through to Nebula a few days ago. He had already mastered the Phoenix form at the time. Star Blazing has already mastered the Phoenix form. He's the next Yin Emperor. That's right. He reached Nebula in just 1 year. It's clear that his growth potential is huge. He's worthy of us breaking 20 years of tradition and agreeing to increase his enrollment benefits. However, he's Yin Emperor's son. I'm afraid he's already Cebu Gakuin's food, right? Yin Emperor was also a student of Cebu Gakuin in the past. How can he be the meat in the pot of Cebu Gakuin? How can it be calculated like that? Di Lao was our dean in the past. Cebu Gakuin in the past is now Cebu Gakuin in Shanghai. Now that Di Lao is the dean of Cebu Gakuin in Shanghai, Wang Lan is definitely going after Di Lao. You can't say it like that. Cebu Gakuin is still his mother's alma mater. Moreover, we're the #1 Cebu Gakuin in the country. In terms of resources and strength, we're still above Shanghai. Speaking of which, what can Cebu Gakuin give Wang Lan? He's already learned the Phoenix form, but he can't learn the Dragon Emperor form. Cebu Gakuin doesn't benefit him at all. As long as we analyze the pros and cons, he should be able to make a wise choice. That's right. Cebu Gakuin's secret techniques are all developed based on the Dragon Emperor form. Wang Lan missed out on those powerful secret techniques after learning the Phoenix form. Compared to us, no one can compare to us in terms of research on the Phoenix form. Inform the admissions office to call Wang Lan immediately. No, Director Zhao, you go personally. The dean suddenly made a decision. You go and negotiate with Wang Lan personally. We'll agree to his conditions as long as they're within our means. The sooner, the better. Huh? Isn't it customary for us to contact the students 5 days after the provincial martial competition? What's the point of caring about convention at this time? Teacher Wu was also speechless. Of course, it's the speed of war. If Cebu Gakuin signs him first, it'll be too late. At the same time, Xiangjiang Cebu Gakuin's conference room also made a decision. Go to Sioux City personally. We must recruit Wang Lan into our school. Xiangjiang Cebu Gakuin didn't produce 5 emperors. We've been criticized by the outside world, causing me to be unable to raise my head in the other 3 Cebu Gakuin. Wang Lan has the potential to become 5 emperors. We can't let him go. Yes. The dean of the teaching office quickly saluted. As always, the military school style was to not drag you down. Cebu Gakuin was the same. His actions were even faster than Cebu Gakuin's. When Director Zhao went out with his luggage, the people of Cebu Gakuin were already preparing to board the plane in the departure lounge. Of the 4 Cebu Gakuin, only Takashi Hoshi and Cebu Gakuin were in the capital. The 2 Cebu Gakuin were fighting over who was the #1 in Jade State. They were all from the 4 Great Star Martial Academies, yet they all liked to belittle each other as if they were worthless. Bah, you deserve to be called the #1 in Jade State? You're nothing. I'm a #1 in Jade State. Get out of here. You're just a branch of my school. How dare you compete with me for the #1 position? I'm 300 years ahead of you in history. This kind of competition had been going on for nearly 50 years. The people of Jade State just wanted to have some fun and watch a joke. Everyone knew that even if the 4 Cebu Gakuin were ranked one after the other, their strength was about the same. Cebu Gakuin's research on advanced Takashi Hoshi techniques was unparalleled in the world. Cebu Gakuen had the most secret and forbidden techniques in the world. Cebu Gakuen, on the other hand, was the #1 in the world in the study of Takashi Hoshi techniques. More than half of the existing shape-changing Takashi Hoshi techniques were created by students of Cebu Gakuen or Cebu Gakuen. Cebu Gakuen of Xiangjiang took the team route, which was related to the military Cebu Gakuen. Anyway, almost all the powerful Takashi Hoshi teams graduated from Xiangjiang. Especially the Star Power Bridging Array, it was unparalleled in the world. Cebu Gakuen of Shanghai had the shortest history, but it was also the most legendary. There was nothing special about it. If there was anything special about it, it would be a carefree education. There were the least restrictions on students. As long as they had enough credits and could pass the exam, they didn't care whether they came to class or not. There were no restrictions on what Takashi Hoshi techniques they wanted to learn, but they needed to exchange credits. The degree of freedom was comparable to that of the universities in White Eagle State. A terrorist attack in the provincial martial art competition was definitely not a small matter. Although it was resolved by D. Lau's absolute strength, not suffering any losses was not a reason not to pay attention to it. Who was covering for Wang Mingling? Who was providing space stones to the demons to open a different space? How did they sneak into Sioux City quietly? Why did the checkpoints in Jade State seem to be in vain? These questions needed to be investigated layer by layer and held accountable layer by layer. Therefore, the Heavenly Sword Bureau was very busy. After the provincial martial arts competition was over, the Takashi Hoshi campus began the intense sprint for the college entrance examination. Wang Lan and the other students who participated in the provincial martial arts competition and performed well also returned to the classroom after 2 days of rest. No matter how sensational it would cool down with the passage of time. At least, that was the case for grade 12 class 1. During the break, Maigitsuk Castle stared at Wang Lan for a long time with an expression of eating lemons. That gaze made Wang Lan feel a chill down his spine. Wu Cheng, don't look at me like that. I'm scared. Wang Lan, do you know what you look like in my eyes? You look like a soul bead wrapped in an S-class Takashi Hoshi skill. So round, so beautiful. Stop. I know what you mean, but can you not stare at me like that? I advised you to sign up at the beginning, but you didn't want to. Who the hell knew that the champion of the provincial martial arts competition would be an S-class Takashi Hoshi skill? In the past, it was at most an A-class. I regret it. Once there was an S-class Takashi Hoshi skill in front of me, but I didn't cherish it. Wu Cheng, do you need an S-class Takashi Hoshi skill? You make it sound like you're out of love. Su Xiangwen said as he patted Maigitsuk Castle's shoulder. Of course I do. That's an S-class Takashi Hoshi skill. Even if you can't use it, can't you provide it? Even my family only has 4 or 5 S-class Takashi Hoshi skills. You used the word only well. On the other side, Lin Hao raised his head and looked at Maigitsuk Castle with disdain. It's good to have one. A better Takashi Hoshi family would have at most 2. Your family has at least 6. Isn't that enough? Speaking of which, the principal was waiting at the entrance early in the morning. Are they going to welcome important guests? So mysterious. What's going on? I'm afraid it's too sudden. The principal doesn't know. Wang Lan quickly changed the topic. How do you know? Or do you know who's coming? I'm not immortal. I can't predict. But if the principal knew that there would be guests today, why didn't he let us clean up yesterday? While Wang Lan and others were guessing, a black business car stopped at the entrance of the Takashi Hoshi campus. Principal Zhang quickly greeted with a smile on his face. Welcome the leader of Jinghua Academy to our school for inspection and guidance. You are Sioux City First High School's Takashi Hoshi campus Principal Zhang. Yes, that's me. Principal Zhang has done an outstanding job. You have nurtured so many outstanding students. Peng Long, the head of Jinghua Cebu Gakuen Education Department, warmly shook hands with Principal Zhang. Director Peng is too kind. Director Peng, please come in. Xiao Lu, quickly show Director Peng around our school. Peng Long stopped and looked at Principal Zhang, who was standing still. Principal Zhang, are there any more guests coming? Yes. Director Zhao from Jinghua Cebu Gakuen just called and said he would be here in a while. Hearing this answer, Pang Long's face suddenly darkened. He muttered to himself, "That was fast." Chapter 247. At the Conference Center Hotel, a beautiful woman in a red dress put on a jacket and gently pulled open the curtains. "Ding dong, Miss Sun. The tea you ordered is here. Okay, come in." The hotel waiter pushed the dining cart into the suite and glanced at Miss Sunday. Even though she was also a woman, she couldn't help but look at her with admiration. This woman was probably a celebrity, right? The waiter placed the exquisite breakfast on the dining table and left with the dining cart. As soon as the waiter left, someone knocked on the door. "Who is it?" "Miss Sun, hurry up. It'll be too late if you don't go now." "Did you find out their itinerary?" Miss Sun asked as she opened the door and let the girl in. "Yes, I hacked into Beijing Airlines. Director Pang from Beijing Cebu Gakuen flew yesterday afternoon, while Director Zhao from Beijing Cebu Gakuen flew last night. Both of them arrived in Sioux City this morning. Major General Yu from Xiangjiang Cebu Gakuen arrived an hour ago. He didn't even look for a place to hide and went straight to Sioux City No. 1 Middle School. The three of them are very impatient. That goes without saying. We're not blind. How can we evaluate Wang Lan's performance? Let's go quickly. If we're late, they'll snatch him away. With the current transportation system, distance is no longer an advantage. We'll talk about it after the tea. You're still eating? Wang Lan was chosen by Di Lao himself. The girl was anxious, but Sunli wasn't at all anxious. She sat at the dining table and enjoyed Sioux City's specialty. Sunli had a famous saying, "In this life, only the country and good food are irreplaceable." In her eyes, good food was as important as the country. She was willing to sacrifice her life for food. Knowing what kind of person her teacher was, the girl could only smile bitterly no matter how anxious she was. "Sit down and eat with us. Don't be impatient. Snatching people is a technical job. It requires strategy. It's useless to rely on temptation. Besides, if the three of them go together, Wang Lan won't be able to make a decision in a short time. Let the three of them quarrel first. We'll only have the strength to fight with them after we're full." Sunli stuck out her tongue sexily, causing the girl to shiver. "Teacher, how do you plan to compete? Don't tell me you're going to fight. What are you thinking about?" They were all experienced teachers. They were elders. How can we fight with our elders? "Teacher, you still care about this? Could it be that you want to poison him? Is that what you think of me, teacher?" Sunli glared at the girl. "Put it down. You can't eat it now." "Ah." The girl took a look at the pastry. It looked delicious. "I've already poisoned it. You could try if you don't believe me." "Stingy." The girl put down the pastries, picked up a glass of juice, and blew bubbles into the tube. "Reporting in." "Come in." Wang Lan pushed open the door of the conference room. Instantly, several pairs of eyes stared at Wang Lan. Their gazes were so intense that Wang Lan had the urge to turn around and run. "Wang Lan, let me introduce you. This is Director Zhao from Cebu Gakuen. This is Director Pang from Cebu Gakuen, and this is Major General Yu from Xiangjiang Military Academy." "Greetings, teacher." "Greetings, chief. Have a seat," Director Zhao said, pointing at a chair not far away. Wang Lan walked over to the chair and sat down. Although Wang Lan had a wealth of experience, he still had to consider the occasion. The people in front of him were all legendary figures. It would be a lie to say that he wasn't nervous. After sitting down, Wang Lan took a deep breath and calmed his nerves. "I'm sure you can guess why I'm here today. Your performance in the provincial martial arts competition was outstanding. Therefore, on behalf of Cebu Gakuen, I would like to formally invite you to enroll at Cebu Gakuen in September this year. What do you think, Wang Lan?" Wang Lan, Cebu Gakuen also hopes that you can come to school. Do you know that Cebu Gakuen has the richest Takashi Hoshi technique in the world and the best teachers? The students of Cebu Gakuen are well known for their comprehensive strength. Choosing Cebu Gakuen is a wise choice. All right, Director Pang's words put Wang Lan in a difficult position. If he agreed to anyone, he would offend the other two. "Can't you invite me in private?" Isn't this like roasting me over a fire? Wang Lan's face suddenly showed that he was in a difficult position. Wang Lan, as far as I know, you have a military rank? Major General, you suddenly asked. Yes. Wang Lan quickly stood up. Sir, I'm a special service member of the Heavenly Sword Bureau. My military rank is captain. Since you're a soldier, why are you hesitating? Major General, you're misleading him. Military academies and the military are not directly related. The military academy is a system that is independent of the military, and the Heavenly Sword Bureau is a system that is independent of you. He's a member of the Celestial Sword Special Service. His military rank has nothing to do with which academy he chooses. Why? Can he enter the Ministry of National Defense after graduating from Shanjiang? As long as he performs well enough, it's not impossible, but might not be what Wang Lan needs. Wang Lan, come to Imperial Cebu Gakuen. Your mother, Wang Ling, graduated from Cebu Gakuen. Imperial Cebu Gakuen is ranked first in the Jade State and has the most in-depth research on your Phoenix form. There are many derivative skills of the Phoenix form. If you come, they'll all be yours. We can also promise to waive your tuition for 5 years. During your time in school, you'll have at least once ranked Takashi Hoshi skill and 3 A-ranked Takashi Hoshi skills. We also promise to train you into a Galaxy Elite before your senior year. We haven't made an exception for this condition for 20 years. Director Zhao listed out his conditions. His sincerity made the 2 people beside him change their expressions. This was the highest condition they could offer. Xiangjiang College can also offer the same conditions. Student Wang Lan, although you're in the Heavenly Sword Bureau, the Heavenly Sword Bureau and Xiangjiang College are both under the Ministry of National Defense. We have a complete military academy system and have a lot of connections in the military. If you continue to work in the military, you won't be able to refuse these connections. In the future, your job and promotion will bring you unimaginable convenience. Student Wang Lan, Imperial Cebu Gakuen can also offer the same conditions. I think you've heard of this saying before. Imperial Cebu Gakuen is all about research, while Imperial Cebu Gakuen is all about teaching you how to fight. Your talents should be displayed on the battlefield, not in a closed research base, pulling your hair out on a certain topic. Old Pang, you're wrong. Do you think that our Imperial Cebu Gakuen doesn't have enough powerful warriors? The Southern Yin Emperor came from Cebu Gakuen. We also have the Northern Ming Emperor. Also, was the Southern Yin Emperor groomed by Cebu Gakuen? He was groomed by Di Lao. But now old Di is... Director Pang suddenly paused. I heard someone talking about Di Lao. Why did you stop? The door to the conference room was gently pushed open, and a beautiful woman walked in. My apologies, seniors. I'm late. Student Wang Lan, allow me to introduce myself. I'm Sun Li, a teacher in charge of student recruitment at Shanghai Cebu Gakuen. Wang Lan looked at Sun Li's outstretched hand and gently touched it. Hello, teacher. Shanghai Cebu Gakuen is also here. Good, everyone is here. Student Wang Lan, what's your choice? Director Zhao stared sharply at Wang Lan. Wang Lan suddenly felt a terrifying pressure coming from the 4 people in front of him. Student Wang Lan, I came late and didn't introduce you. However, forget it. I'm sure you already know Shanghai Cebu Gakuen very well. Di Lao thinks highly of you. Before I left, he told me to give you the freedom to make your own choice. On behalf of the school, I promise you that an S-rank Takashi Hoshi technique, elite team members, elite teachers, and priority will be given to you. I promise to help you reach the peak of the Galaxy grade before you graduate. This condition should be enough to express my sincerity, right? Teacher Sun, I'm flattered by your school's favor, but now, they all have such superior conditions. It's really difficult for me to make a choice immediately. How about? Wang Lan blinked his eyes frantically. Okay, I'll give you 10 minutes to consider. If you feel pressured, you can leave the room. Come back in 10 minutes and give us your answer. Sun Li ignored Wang Lan's hints and turned to the other 3. What about the rest of you? Do you have anything else to say? We've said everything that needs to be said. Now it's up to Wang Lan to make his choice. Agreed. Let's leave it at that. The four great Cebu Gakuen were Cebu Gakuen, after all. No matter how much they wanted Wang Lan, they still had to act reserved on the surface. They couldn't act like a peddler and stop him from leaving. Since the conditions had been laid out and the advantages of each school had been stated, the choice was naturally up to Wang Lan. Moreover, they were all confident in their schools. They all believed that the advantages of their schools were what Wang Lan needed and that no one else could replace them. After exchanging glances with each other, they quietly turned their faces away. As for Shanghai Cebu Gakuen, the three of them were the least worried. Previously, they had been worried that Shanghai Cebu Gakuen had too much an advantage and had hurriedly rushed over to be the first to arrive. But now, it seemed that Shanghai Cebu Gakuen didn't attach enough importance to Wang Lan. They had only sent a teacher from the admissions office. Perhaps Di Lao really did have a strong desire to recruit Wang Lan. However, after the assassination attempt on Di Lao, the entire Di Lao faction was now looking for the person who had secretly paved the way for the demons and provided cover for the birds of paradise to enter the country. Perhaps they were too busy to care about it. This was perfect. With their biggest competitor gone, the three great Cebu Gakuen would have more confidence. After walking out of the meeting room, Wang Lan let out a long sigh. Damn, this was definitely a suicidal proposition. No matter which one he chose, he would definitely offend the other three. Rejecting a normal Cebu Gakuen's invitation was fine, but rejecting the three great Cebu Gakuen's invitation. Wang Lan dared to guarantee that he would definitely be on the headlines tomorrow. The People's reporters were everywhere, and the unscrupulous media would do anything to attract people's attention. If he left a bad impression on the three teachers and went back to tell them, wouldn't he have a lot of enemies? However, he had to choose. He had to choose one. Ding dong, his phone rang. It was a message from Jiang Xinyu. Strange, shouldn't Jiang Xinyu be in class right now? Why would she send me a message? Moreover, she clearly knows that I'm busy. As he thought about it, he unlocked his phone. When he saw the content of the message, Wang Lan's face suddenly revealed a strange expression. Chapter 248. Cebu Gakuen from Shanghai just found me and invited me to join Shanghai Cebu Gakuen. Also, Wang Lan quickly sent a question mark. Yes. Didn't you agree to join Shanghai Cebu Gakuen from Di Lao? That way, we could be together again. Did Teacher Sun tell you? Yes. Didn't he? Jiang Xinyu replied very quickly. Seeing this, Wang Lan's face suddenly revealed a strange smile. No wonder Shanghai Cebu Gakuen was the latest to arrive. They actually took drastic measures to deal with him. Yes. I forgot to tell you before. Wang Lan quickly replied. The conditions offered by the four Cebu Gakuen were similar. No matter which one he chose, Wang Lan would be very satisfied. However, each of the four Cebu Gakuen had their own advantages. It was indeed difficult to choose one. However, since Jiang Xinyu had chosen Shanghai Cebu Gakuen, Wang Lan didn't need to feel conflicted about which school to choose. He put away his phone and took a deep breath. He turned around and pushed open the door to enter the conference room. Wang Lan, have you thought about it? When Wang Lan entered the conference room, everyone stopped talking or put down what they were doing to look at Wang Lan. Teachers, I've thought about it. I've decided to join Shanghai Cebu Gakuen. When Wang Lan finished speaking, a mysterious smile appeared on Sun Li's face. The other three didn't have much of a change in their expressions. They only revealed a look of pity. The four Cebu Gakuen were comparable in strength. Moreover, the conditions they offered were also similar. It was natural for Wang Lan to choose any one of them. If he chose one, he would naturally give up on the other three. However, even though Wang Lan had already given the answer, the other three Cebu Gakuen did not intend to let it go so easily. Director Zhao leaned back in his chair and crossed his arms as he looked at Wang Lan. Student Wang Lan, can you tell me why you chose Shanghai Cebu Gakuen? Or rather, why didn't you choose one of the three of us? Wang Lan cast a pleading look at Sun Li, but Sun Li returned a helpless expression. Wang Lan's face fell, revealing a bitter smile. Do I have to answer? You have to answer. Director Pang stared at Wang Lan and said calmly. Because Shanghai is closer to home. The shy smile on Wang Lan's face was very innocent. I've never left Sioux City in my entire life. The imperial capital and Xiangjiang are so far away from my family and friends. I'm a little reluctant. Shanghai is so close. If I want to go home one day, I can go home on Saturday or Sunday. 2 hours is enough. The three of them were stunned. None of them expected Wang Lan to give such a reason. They thought that Wang Lan had given countless reasons for choosing Shanghai, but the only reason he did not consider was that it was closer to home. Director Zhao let out a long sigh. All right, since you made your choice, we won't force you. Wang Lan, I heard that you're quite close to Jiang Xinyu, right? Do you have her number? Yes. Wang Lan's mouth twitched slightly. He pretended to be serious as he replied. Give her a call and tell her to come over. What? Director Zhao has taken a liking to Jiang Xinyu. She only got 9th place, Director Pang said indifferently. But her performance was very good. She has already met the admission requirements of Cebu Gakuen. If I can't get Wang Lan, I can't just come here for nothing, right? Director Zhao, I'm afraid you've come here for nothing. Sun Li smiled proudly. Before I came here, Jiang Xinyu had already agreed to enroll at Shanghai Cebu Gakuen. Huh? You want to look for Jiang Xinyu first? Major General, you looked at Sun Li with a puzzled expression. His eyes flashed as if he had guessed something. Yeah, it's on the way anyway. Enrolling Jiang Xinyu won't take up much of my time. Sigh. Shanghai sure is fast. You've already snatched away 2 good seeds from Sioux City's #1 middle school. Whatever, I've come here for nothing. Director Zhao stood up and walked out of the meeting room. Then I'll take my leave as well. Major General, you stood up and left. Before long, only Wang Lan and Sun Li were left in the meeting room. Sun Li waved at Wang Lan. Come here and fill out the application form. Wang Lan did as he was told. He took the pen Sun Li handed him and quickly filled out the form. From time to time, he would catch a whiff of her fragrance. Wang Lan, there's no one here right now. I'd like to hear the real reason you've chosen Shanghai Cebu Gakuen. Doesn't Teacher Sun already know? Why do you have to expose me? It seems my strategy has worked. Don't worry, my promise to you won't change. Besides, your little girlfriend will be treated much better than the average student. After Wang Lan finished filling out the form, the system suddenly rang out in his mind. Congratulations! You've been recommended by Shanghai Cebu Gakuen. You've been accepted into one of the 4 major Cebu Gakuen. You've completed the mission. You've been rewarded 20,000 experience points and 1,000 skill points. Teacher, although these conditions are beneficial to me, I'm still a little doubtful. Won't this kind of preferential treatment bring me disadvantages? For example, a lemon? Normally, there won't be. This is Cebu Gakuen's tradition. Cebu Gakuen's motto has never been to be fair, just, and open. It's also not like those banners hanging at the entrance of elementary schools. Everything is for the sake of the child. Cebu Gakuen's philosophy is survival of the fittest. As long as you perform well enough, you'll be able to stand out and receive special treatment. The preferential treatment isn't exclusive to you. It's just that you've been promised in advance. Actually, the more outstanding a student is, the less they need such preferential treatment. Even if they don't receive preferential treatment, they'll still stand out quickly after entering the school. The school will still give them more resources. The Star Martial Arts Academy only had one objective, and that was to nurture outstanding students and nurture even more outstanding students. A lemon? What's there to be jealous about? If you're capable, you should be more outstanding than others. If you're outstanding, you'll have everything you want. If you fade into the crowd, you'll have nothing. After hearing Sun Li's explanation, Wang Lan felt more confident. Is it similar to the rules of the sex in Takashi Hoshi's novels? Pretty much. You can think of the world's Cebu Gakuen as sections. The 4 Cebu Gakuen are the strongest and largest sections. The only difference is that all sects are subject to the management of the country, and sects are not allowed to fight for resources. I heard that after entering Cebu Gakuen, we won't have to fight in the training field anymore. Will we have to enter the wasteland dimension or go overseas to provide support? Wang Lan asked with concern. That's right. Takashi Hoshi can increase their strength without soul orbs. Soul orbs only exist in the wasteland dimension. The training field is for beginner Takashi Hoshi to improve. It's a relatively safe environment. To be able to enter Shanghai's Star Martial Arts Academy, one had to be at least at the Nebula realm. Why would you go to such a warm and pleasant place like the training field? You'll have to fight in the wasteland dimension or go to chaotic places when you receive international support. Of course, going overseas is much more dangerous than staying in your own wasteland dimension. However, going overseas is also rewarding. You don't have to hand over a portion of your soul orbs to the country. You'll also get a handsome commission. From the day you officially enter Cebu Gakuen, you'll be protecting the country and the world even though you're still a student. At that moment, you'll be a true warrior. Because of your excellence, you'll be even more outstanding than the Takashi Hoshi army. For ordinary people, entering university is a liberation. University life is countless times easier than the previous 12 years. Takashi Hoshi is the opposite. University is the real starting point. Wang Lan, you and Jiang Xinyu are both very outstanding. There are only a handful of people in Sioux City who can stand shoulder to shoulder with you. But you should have seen it for yourself. How many people are on par with you in the province? There are more than 30 people who participated in the provincial martial competition, not to mention those who didn't participate. Cebu Gakuen, Shanghai, faces the whole country. Maybe you and Jiang Xinyu are peerless geniuses here. But after entering, you'll realize how many geniuses there are. Don't ever think that I'm a genius. Once you enter, you'll realize that everyone is a genius. Yes. Wang Lan quickly nodded and responded obediently. Is there anything else you need to ask? How do I learn the Takashi Hoshi technique? What I mean is, where do I get the qualifications to learn the Takashi Hoshi technique after entering? Is it taught by a teacher? Other than subject knowledge, actual combat experience, or combat practice, there will be a teacher who will teach you step by step. As for other things, such as learning the Takashi Hoshi technique and developing the Takashi Hoshi technique, the teacher can only guide you. After all, the Takashi Hoshi technique is transmitted to the mind through imprinting. In addition to the cultivation method of the Takashi Hoshi technique, there is also the experience and comprehension of the Takashi Hoshi technique. Since it's directly poured into the mind, there's no need for others to waste their breath. As for the source of the Takashi Hoshi technique, the school has the Takashi Hoshi technique hall. You could just buy it directly. So convenient? Wang Lan's eyes lit up. To him, anything that could be bought with money was easy to get. Don't be too happy. Buying the Takashi Hoshi technique is not about money, but about points. The source of points is your performance in school, also known as credits. For example, participating in public welfare activities, not being late or absent for class, not failing exams, participating in the student union, assisting in school management, and so on. As for how to earn credits, you'll find out after entering the school. Anyway, the main task of freshmen is to learn theoretical knowledge and accumulate credits. You have a year to understand everything. If there are no other questions, I'll take my leave. The admission notice will be in your hands in a few days. Have a safe journey, teacher. Goodbye, teacher. When she reached the door, Lily suddenly stopped in her tracks and asked, by the way, although you're very strong, you're still a medical Takashi Hoshi, right? Am I considered? Wang Lan was not sure about this question. He wanted to say that although he was very good at fighting, he was still a medical awakened. However, Wang Lan's words did not count, and he had to ask if the other party agreed. He had seen medical awakened who could take a beating, but he had never seen a medical awakened who could fight so well. Are you considered? No, you're not worthy. Yes. Lily hooked her finger at Wang Lan and said, Teacher, I'm also a medical awakened teacher. Remember to enroll in my class. Oh. After watching Lily leave, Wang Lan heaved a sigh of relief. However, Wang Lan forgot about Li's invitation as soon as he thought about it. Medical awakened? Why would Wang Lan need to enroll in a class? Even medical awakened Star Sea Realm cultivators probably don't have his healing abilities, right? After coming out of the conference room and returning to the class, Everyone's eyes were fixed on Wang Lan. This was the man who had been successfully recruited by one of the 4 Cebu Gakuen. Others had to work hard for the college entrance examination, which was less than 20 days away, but he could sleep openly and go to school just to be a bystander. It was infuriating to look at him. Ahem, Wang Lan, go back to your seat. Don't disturb the other students when they're studying, the teacher said softly. He sounded as if he had caused trouble in class before. Chapter 249. A few days later, he received the acceptance letter from Shanghai, Cebu Gakuen. It arrived on the same day as Jiang Xinyu. The other students in the class were working hard for the college entrance examination. Apart from Wang Lan and Jiang Xinyu, Zhuang Haoyan and Gong Feiyu received the acceptance letter from Zhezhou Cebu Gakuen. Su Xiangwen originally wanted to be together with Gong Feiyu, but unfortunately, Zhezhou Cebu Gakuen did not invite him. He could only work hard for the exam. Su Xiangwen had something to say about this. He was eliminated in the same round as Gong Feiyu. Why did Zhezhou Cebu Gakuen look down on him? Even Zhuang Haoyan received a guaranteed admission in the first round, but he did not. As a good brother, Wang Lan naturally had to comfort him. Xiangwen, don't be discouraged. It's just a guaranteed admission. With your ability, it's easy for you to get into Cebu Gakuen. Besides, so what if Zhezhou Cebu Gakuen doesn't like you? That only proves that Zhezhou Cebu Gakuen isn't blind. Look, Cebu Gakuen didn't contact you either. The first part sounded reasonable, but the second part angered Su Xiangwen so much that he turned around and pounced on Wang Lan. I'll fight you to the death. Don't worry, Xiangwen. Even if you go to a crappy college, we won't abandon you. We'll still take you with us in the future. Gong Feiyu did not let their friendship go to waste. Don't say that. Xiangwen is already very pitiful. Why are you still rubbing salt on his wound? CSCC said weakly. She could not bear to see Xiangwen like this. It would have been better if she did not say this. Once she said it, Su Xiangwen immediately shut himself up. You might as well not have said anything. It's fine. I'm made of steel, so I still have this bit of mentality. So what if Zhezhou doesn't like me? I don't care. With my strength, I can get in. If I were to surpass his admission cutoff score by 20 points, I wouldn't even be able to enter that lousy school of his. I've decided. I want to go to Cebu Gakuen. Gold City? Aren't you coming with me? Gong Feiyu was slightly stunned. The reason why he unscrupulously threw salt at Su Xiangwen was not to kick him when he was down. With Su Xiangwen's strength, the first-rate Cebu Gakuen would basically attack wherever he wanted. Moreover, there were 8 second-tier Cebu Gakuen that were not worse than Zhezhou Cebu Gakuen. No matter what, Su Xiangwen would be recruited by one of them. Not receiving a guaranteed invitation didn't necessarily mean that they didn't like him. Instead, it could be that there were limited spots. For those who were capable, it didn't matter if they were guaranteed admission or not. Even if they took the college entrance exam, they could still choose whatever they wanted. Of course, the 4 major Cebu Gakuen were an exception. TSK, why would I go if they're so blind? Don't I care about my reputation? Besides, Cebu Gakuen has always been my goal. If there's a first-rate Cebu Gakuen that gives me a guaranteed invitation, I'll go. If not, my first choice is Gold City. Sai, how many Cebu Gakuen have you rejected these days? Gong Feiyu shook his head and sighed. Takashi Hoshi of Luzhou, Takashi Hoshi of Wuling, these are not worse than Takashi Hoshi of Zhezhou. Those who are ranked below the top 10 are not going. Su Xiangwen waved his hand and shouted domineeringly. Lao Su is mighty. All right, Cece, what about you? Which one do you want to go to? Well, CSCC lowered her head slightly and was a little embarrassed. Gold City? Huh? Su Xiangwen looked at CSCC in surprise. Even Jiang Xinyu looked over curiously. I know it's hard to get into Gold City, and I'm still a little weak, but my theoretical results are okay. Plus, I've participated in the provincial martial arts competition, and I have extraordinary talent in controlling star power. If I perform well, I think I can give it a try. That's true. If Cece didn't develop late, her talent and potential wouldn't be worse than mine and Sinu's. Lan Zi, which eye of yours saw that Cece developed late? That body, TSK, TSK, TSK. Su Xiangwen's flirtatious words were always so accurate. Lan Zi, from your tone, it seems like our talent isn't good enough? Gong Feiyu grinned and asked, are you trying to deny it? Wang Lan didn't give him any face and rolled his eyes. In the five-person team, in terms of talent, Wang Lan was the cheater, Jiang Xinyu was second, and Xie Sisi was third. Su Xiangwen had a bloodline talent and great potential, so he was fourth. Gong Feiyu's talent was actually very average. Of course, this was usually compared to people like Wang Lan, who had special skills. Gong Feiyu was of the earth attribute and didn't have any special talent. His fighting style was very stable, and he was good at defense. In Sioux City, he was a first-class seed, but in the whole country, there were too many people better than him. This was also why Su Xiangwen said that Zizhou's Sibu Gakuin was blind. In terms of strength, Su Xiangwen might not be able to beat Gong Feiyu. But in terms of potential, Su Xiangwen was much stronger than Gong Feiyu. In the future, Su Xiangwen would definitely have a place among the influential people. In the next few days, Wang Lan went to and from school at 2 o'clock. The rhythm was relaxed, and he was in a good mood. Frankly speaking, ever since she awakened this damnable system in elementary school, Wang Lan had never been so relaxed. In order to activate the system, he worked hard to improve himself every day, and his nerves were always in a tense state. After successfully activating the system, he worked hard to catch up with Jiang Xinyu and the others. In order to earn skill points, in order to level up, he went through so many dangers. Now, he was finally accepted by Magic City's Sibu Gakuin. One stage of his achievement could be considered completed. Although the road ahead was still bumpy and thorny, the threat of the demons was always hanging over his head like the sword of Damocles. But now, Wang Lan could indeed take a break for a while, at least for summer vacation. The days passed quickly when he didn't need to work hard. The calendar turned over May, and it was June. June 5th was the college entrance examination of the Takashi Hoshi campus. It was also the unified examination of the whole province. But Wang Lan didn't have the chance to see such a big occasion. Su Xiangwen participated in the college entrance examination, so Wang Lan and the others who didn't need to participate directly went on vacation. After leaving school, they were completely relaxed. Although there was no pressure to study in school before, Wang Lan also went to class and did questions when he saw the other students working hard. After the vacation, Wang Lan directly became a salted fish. He drank tea with Jiang Xinyu and played games with Gong Feiyu. Unknowingly, 5 or 6 days passed. Suddenly, he was completely free. Wang Lan started to feel a little uncomfortable. He felt that his whole body had become sluggish. Sensing the decline of his physical condition, Wang Lan suddenly became alert. Even if it was summer vacation, he shouldn't be like this. But the training field was being reorganized, and the training field at home was too small. Moreover, after the provincial martial art competition, it was very awkward to restrain his limbs and train all over his body. When Wang Lan told Su Shiyun about this problem, Su Shiyun immediately replied, "You have nothing better to do. Isn't it easy to maintain your condition? Come to the bureau and train every day. I guarantee that you're in the best condition every day." Maybe I was born a wretch. After driving to the Heavenly Sword Bureau, he muttered after getting out. When he was busy, he complained that living was tiring. He wanted to lie down and not think about anything. It would be best if he could lie down for the rest of his life. But after lying down for a few days, he felt like he had lost his soul. He couldn't help but run back to the Heavenly Sword Bureau to ask for more training. In addition to the training field inside the Heavenly Sword Bureau, there was also a huge training field with folded space. Wang Lan had heard of it before, but he had never been there. He had joined the Heavenly Sword Bureau for a year, but he was either busy studying or catching spies. He didn't really stay in the Heavenly Sword Bureau for long. Among the Redcoat captains, Wang Lan was probably the only one who hadn't been to the folded space training field. The folded space technology was definitely the black technology of black technology. It was said that the raw material was the space stone, which was only produced in alternate spaces. But the space stone was a national prohibited item. Anyway, the country's control of the space stone was even stricter than drugs. There was a huge metal door similar to the training field. Su Shiryun pressed his palm against the metal door, and the metal door slowly opened. A dazzling white light shone, completely engulfing the two of them. Entering the folded space training room, there was an endless gray land and an endless pale sky. Looking from afar, there were figures in the distance chasing and fighting in a vast space. This place is similar to the alternate space. Wang Lan looked around and asked, "It's not similar, it's completely the same." Su Shiryun casually threw the cigarette butt in. The cigarette but suddenly went out. See, the way it burns outside is different here. Every time you come in with a cigarette, you have to light it up again. As he spoke, Su Shiryun took out a cigarette. "Come, give me a light." Wang Lan's finger lit up a ball of flame for the big boss. Since it's an alternate space, why aren't there any exotic beasts? They've all been killed. Using the space stone to open up an alternate space, then killing all the exotic beasts to strengthen the space node. The space left behind to store resources and cultivate is not bad. As he spoke, Su Shiryun pointed at the flashing figures in the distance. "They're all brothers from the Bureau. Don't be restrained, just spar with them. Also, it's not bad to learn Takashi Hoshi here. It seems that Li Ge has been in seclusion for the past half a month. Doesn't he need to do missions? He learned a new Takashi Hoshi skill and is in seclusion to cultivate. Speaking of which, I also learned a new Takashi Hoshi skill, but I haven't been able to find a suitable place to test it. It seems like this place is suitable. Forget about it. The biggest advantage of this place is that the Takashi Hoshi skill can be used anywhere." As they spoke, the two walked to a relatively empty space. "Oh, Captain Wang is here? What a rare guest. It seems like this is the first time I've seen Captain Wang here." A few brothers nearby stopped and greeted Wang Lan. They knew Wang Lan, but Wang Lan didn't know them. He could only nod in response. "Captain Wang, you're super popular now. You're known as the strongest high school student in the history of the province. Also, what's the Takashi Hoshi skill you used the other day? It's too strong. Don't ask what you shouldn't ask. Why are you so gossipy? You're not motivated to train. Do you want me to help you train?" Su Shiryun suddenly shouted. "No need. No need. I'll rest for a while. Just a while." The two quickly smiled apologetically and spread out, staying away from Su Shiryun. "Wang Lan, what's the new Takashi Hoshi skill you learned? The reward for the provincial martial arts tournament champion? It's a fire-type Takashi Hoshi skill, Earth Surging Sea of Flames." "Which one?" Su Shiryun, who was beside him, suddenly exclaimed. "Earth Surging Sea of Flames. You seem very surprised? That's an S-class Takashi Hoshi skill." "Yes, the reward is an S-class Takashi Hoshi skill. Is it that surprising?" Looking at Wang Lan's indifferent expression, Su Shiryun really wanted to slap him. "I don't have an S-class Takashi Hoshi skill yet. Also, even Wang Chu and the others only have an S-class Takashi Hoshi skill, near life. You're just a high school student, and you already have an S-class Takashi Hoshi skill." "I've already graduated," Wang Lan calmly replied. The star power around him suddenly surged. "Wait, what are you doing? Come in little by little. Trying to use it right away is a waste of star power. Come in little by little? Why do you have to come in little by little? Don't you need steps to learn the Takashi Hoshi skill? Do you? Pretend. You're just pretending. Who doesn't need steps to learn the Takashi Hoshi skill? Even if you go to the toilet, you still need to take off your pants, right?" But just as this thought flashed through his mind, he was shocked by the scene in front of him. Chapter 250. Wang Lan placed both his hands on the ground, and the ground in front of him suddenly turned red, as if it had turned into lava. Suddenly, bright red flames surged out from the ground like an erupting volcano. Within a 30-meter radius, the flames burned intensely. It had not even been a month since the end of the provincial tournament. He had learned the S-grade Takashi Hoshi technique, just like that. When the cigarette burned his fingers, Su Shiryun suddenly realized and hurriedly threw the cigarette butt away. Unknowingly, Wang Lan was surrounded by a large group of Heavenly Sword Bureau soldiers. They were still fine and just watched curiously as Wang Lan used the Takashi Hoshi technique to change the position and shape of the flames. When he felt that his stellar energy was running out, Wang Lan finally stopped. The furthest I can control, it is 35 meters. Any further, and my stellar energy won't be able to cover it. Although it is an S-grade Takashi Hoshi technique, its power is a little lacking. The enemy won't be so stupid as to stay still and escape within 35 meters. This S-grade Takashi Hoshi technique can't be fake, right? Get lost. Su Shiryun raised his leg and kicked him. Even if it is an S-grade Takashi Hoshi technique, you have only just mastered it. If you want to unleash the true power of the S-grade Takashi Hoshi technique, you have to be at least in the galaxy stage. The range of 35 meters is good, but you have to consider the temperature of the flames. I can feel the intense heat behind you. The temperature of the flames can burn people to death in an instant. Furthermore, the potential of this technique is huge. You can use it as a reference for the Fire Emperor. The Earth Gush Sea of Flames is the Fire Emperor's signature technique. It covers a range of 100 meters, and the purple flames engulf everything in an instant. The Fire Emperor had once used his own strength to flatten an entire dimension. Alright? Wang Lan had just learned the Earth Gush Sea of Flames, and it was still a Gold Grade 1. Most of the other Takashi Hoshi techniques were also at Gold Grade 1. Only the Crescent Moon Arrow and Flaming Blade were upgraded to Gold Grade 2. Ever since his skills had reached the Gold level, his skill points had become increasingly insufficient. Just doing some small missions was completely useless. Fortunately, after entering university, the school would have actual combat practice every year. At that time, it might be easier to obtain skill points. As the old saying goes, there is no age in the mountains. This also applied to Wang Lan, who was in the folded space. If Su Shiryun hadn't told him that it had been in the folded space for more than 10 days, Wang Lan wouldn't have noticed at all. There was no day or night in the alternate dimension, and the sense of time was completely messed up. Wang Lan only knew to rest when he was tired, and train with his teammates when he had enough energy. In the Heavenly Sword Bureau, especially in the folded space trial field, most of them were nebula, and every one of them had been through hundreds of battles. This was just right for the current Wang Lan. In the past 10 days, Wang Lan had been led into the rhythm by his comrades in the Heavenly Sword Bureau from time to time. Now, there were almost no flaws. If he wanted to win against Wang Lan, he could only crush him with his strength. This kind of improvement was visible to the naked eye. Although the brothers didn't say it, they were all convinced by Wang Lan in their hearts. Brothers, I'll go out and rest for 2 days. I'll come back after I've rested. Don't miss me. Go. It's best if you don't come back. That's right. We don't have anything to guide you anymore. What's left is to improve your own strength. You don't lack any combat experience. A few red coat elites drove him away with a look of disdain. After leaving the folded space, he had just turned on his phone when it was bombarded with messages. Although he had greeted them when he went to the Heavenly Sword Bureau for training, he didn't expect that there would be no news from Wang Lan for 10 days. The one who sent the most messages was Su Xianwen. In each message, there was a strong sense of pretentiousness. Lanzi, I got 430 points. I'm 30 points higher than the cutoff score for Cebu Gakuen Zizhou, but I won't fill in his school's application form. I just want to tell him that I'll take back the face he lost. Are you still alive? If you're still alive, take a breather. When will you be released? I'll treat you to a drink when you're out. He sent a message almost every day. From between the lines, there was a message. Hurry up and come out. I can't wait to show off. I'm out. How's everyone? Ding dong. Almost 3 seconds after the message was sent, Su Xiangwen's reply came. Lanzi, you're finally alive. I thought you were dead. 6 o'clock tonight, East Tianmin Dragon Inn. Okay, Lanzi, I got 430 points. 170 in theory, 260 in actual combat. In actual combat, I got first place in Sioux City and fourth place in Jiang Province. Isn't that awesome? 430 points? Is that a lot? Wang Lan felt that it was necessary to curb this guy's arrogance. If he was so arrogant now, he didn't know how arrogant he would be at the gathering later. First place in Sioux City? That's not bad. Those with better grades should be guaranteed admission, right? He sent 2 messages in a row, but there was no reply from the other side. Gong Feiyu, on the other hand, added a stab at the right time. Lanzi, life is hard. It's rare that there are no tigers in the mountains. Let him be the king for a while, even if he's deceiving himself. Just you wait, I'll kill you tonight. In the dead of night, Wang Lan's footsteps were a little light. With the gorgeous lights behind him, he walked slowly to Sinew Building. When they were eating just now, everyone was in high spirits. In such a mood, Wang Lan, who didn't drink, drank 2 bottles of beer for the first time. In Su Xiangwen's words, could beer be considered alcohol? At most, it was a drink. But for Wang Lan, 2 bottles of beer and 2 bottles of white wine were not much different. After 1 bottle, Wang Lan's face turned red. After 2 bottles, his head swelled. Although he was a little dizzy, he was still conscious. After rejecting Jiang Sinew's offer to send him home, Wang Lan went home alone. When he arrived at the entrance of the building, a warm breeze blew past. Wang Lan was instantly alert. He stopped in his tracks and straightened his back. Who is it? Wang Lan, it's me. CSCC's voice rang out as she walked out from a corner not far away. When he saw CSCC, Wang Lan immediately relaxed. Looking at her carefully dressed face, a smile appeared on his face. Cici, why are you here? I asked you to come to the gathering just now. Why didn't you come? The sound of high heels clicking on the floor tiles was getting closer and closer. Wang Lan's eyes suddenly became serious. It's you? Why did you come out? What happened? Although the person in front of him was still CSCC, Wang Lan instantly recognized from CSCC's eyes that this was CSCC's second personality. A personality that hid in the dark and would only appear when CSCC was in danger. She's not in danger. She's fine. CSCC came in front of Wang Lan and naturally held Wang Lan's arm. She said gently, "Walk with me." Okay. The 2 of them walked along the inner road under the streetlights. She scored 410 points, which is 10 points higher than the Jinshi Cebu Gakuin's admission cutoff. Yes, I heard from Xiangwen. Congratulations. By the way, you're obviously her. Why do you call her her? I'm different from her, CSCC said faintly. She's very happy. Ever since she awakened the Takashi Hoshi talent, she's never been so happy. A few days ago, her parents held a banquet for her to celebrate. Her friends and relatives all came. Thank you. If it weren't for you and Sinew, she definitely wouldn't have been able to get into such a good school. She was admitted to Cebu Gakuen. In the future, she won't need my protection anymore. In the future, she'll become a strong and brave warrior, right? Of course. She's a strong and brave warrior now. I'm leaving. CSCC suddenly stopped and said in disappointment. Leaving? Wang Lan looked at CSCC in surprise. You mean, I've said it before. One day, when CC doesn't need my protection anymore, I'll disappear. I appeared because of the fear and cowardice in her heart. But now that she's no longer afraid and cowardly, I'm going to disappear. The disappearance of this personality was definitely a good thing for CSCC. A normal person shouldn't have 2 personalities. However, Wang Lan felt an inexplicable sadness in his heart. Her existence was a mistake, but at the same time, she was so innocent. She had been secretly protecting CSCC for so many years. Now that she didn't need her anymore, she was going to disappear. From a scientific point of view, an independent personality was actually a person. Although she shared a body with CSCC, she was an independent life like CSCC. For CSCC, disappearing meant death. Don't feel sad for me. I was destined to be like this from the moment I was born. If I never disappear, it means that she hasn't broken free from her psychological shadow. Today, send me off. I'll treat you to a drink. CSCC pointed at the flickering lights in the bar and smiled. A ray of sunlight shone through the gap in the curtains and shone directly into Wang Lan's eyes. Wang Lan's eyelids moved slightly, and he let out a soft groan. He slowly opened his eyes and gently held his head. This feeling was as if he had caught a bad cold. Was he sick? That was obviously impossible. Takashi Hoshi rarely fell sick, especially when it came to colds. Yesterday, after drinking with Su Xiangwen and the others, he went home and met CSCC's second personality. Then, the two of them went to the bar, and then a toast to the past, a toast to tomorrow, a toast to dreams, and a toast to death. In the end, he didn't know anything. He raised his head and looked around. This was indeed his home. The clothes scattered on the ground looked as if they had been torn off. Suddenly, Wang Lan's eyes became clear, and he sat up abruptly. His stiff neck slowly turned over. A snow-white naked body was curled up in bed and sleeping soundly. Did I become a beast? These three words struck his mind like lightning. It should be. Yesterday, he drank until he passed out. He probably lost his rationality long ago. What happened after that seemed to make sense. But it was his first time, and he had no recollection of it. Although it wasn't his first time in both lifetimes, it was still. Wang Lan gently lifted the blanket, afraid that he would wake CSCC up. According to the plot of the television series, when CSCC woke up and found out that she had done it with him, there should be a loud scream, and then she would point at him bitterly. In the time it took for her to turn around, Wang Lan had even prepared the letter of guarantee. Just as he was about to get off the bed, a pair of soft arms suddenly hugged him. Wang Lan, I'm sorry, I really didn't mean to trick you. Yesterday, I drank too much. Wang Lan, I didn't mean to interfere. CSCC had woken up a long time ago. But why didn't her reaction follow the script? Chapter 251. Wang Lan's silence made CSCC even more flustered. Wang Lan, believe me, although I like you, I'm not the kind of woman who would play tricks. Yesterday was really an accident. Please don't treat me like that kind of cheap woman. CC, you make it sound like I'm the one who's at a disadvantage. Wang Lan smiled bitterly and patted CSCC's hand. Actually, that's not you. How should I put it? You've always had another personality. CSCC didn't know about the existence of the other CSCC. Perhaps this was the sorrow of the other CSCC. She was like CSCC's guardian angel, silently protecting CSCC. But the person being protected didn't know about the existence of the guardian angel. Just like now, there were so many ordinary people who had been protected by Takashi Hoshi, but they wantonly praised the peaceful times. How many people really understood that the so-called peaceful times were just people moving forward with a heavy burden on their shoulders? My other personality? Although CSCC stopped crying, she hugged Wang Lan's arm even harder. Why don't I know? Do you still remember that time when you were drugged? How is it possible for you to escape under such circumstances at that time? Not to mention that you were shot. It's your second personality who has always been protecting you. Since you met that pervert when you were young, there's always been a second personality in your body. Last night, she came to me and wanted to say goodbye. She appeared because of your inner desire to be protected. And now, you've become strong and strong, so you don't need her protection anymore. That's why she disappeared. Yesterday, she came to me to say goodbye. From now on, you're you. I just didn't expect her to do this yesterday. CSCC's face was full of shock, but she knew that Wang Lan would never lie to her. Moreover, her memory of last night was a little blurry. It seemed like she had done it, but it also felt like a dream. Do you regret it? Wang Lan looked at CSCC's perfect body and asked gently, I can't even promise you anything. I don't regret it. I don't regret it at all. We are Takashi Hoshi. Who makes promises to who? Maybe one day, we will die in battle. Wang Lan, I don't regret it. I will never. CSCC rubbed her face against Wang Lan's back. Don't you feel wronged? This is very unfair to you. Outstanding men have even more outstanding women. This is the fairest rule of nature. How is it unfair for me to become your woman? From the first day you came to Class 1, the result was already set in stone. Wang Lan exhaled softly. Are you hungry? Do you want to get up and eat something? I'm not hungry. I just want to hug you for a while longer. Just hug me. Wang Lan turned around and pushed CSCC down. Who was the one who took the initiative yesterday? Why don't we do it again? The summer vacation passed by quietly. On August 25th, students from all over the country could return to school. The freshmen had to report to school, so they left earlier than the other students. It was inevitable that parting would bring with it some sadness. There were direct high-speed trains from Sioux City to Shanghai and Jin City. It was closer to Shanghai. The high-speed train ride only took 40 minutes. Wang Lan and the other three carried their luggage to the train station. Each of them only had a suitcase. The daily necessities were all bought on the spot. Xiang Wen, I'll leave Cece in your care when we reach Jin City, Jiang Xinyu said with a rare sad expression as she held Cece's hand. Of course, but Jin City is only 200 kilometers away from Sioux City, right? There's no need to make it seem like an eternal farewell. If you're happy, you can come back whenever you want. Look, Lan Zi is so much calmer. Jiang Xinyu looked at Wang Lan beside her. He was holding his ticket and looking for the ticket gate. He looked like he couldn't wait to get on the train. Xinyu, our ticket gate is over there. It's about to be checked. Let's go over, Wang Lan said as he strode over. Hey, Lan Zi, aren't you going to say goodbye? Su Xiangwen's eyes were slightly red. The next time we meet, it'll be Chinese New Year. Oh, goodbye then. Wang Lan waved his hand. Forget it, let's hug. He hugged Su Xiangwen and Xia Cece gently. Take care of yourself. Keep in touch. Okay. Su Xiangwen and Xia Cece's departure time was about the same as Wang Lan's. It was only 15 minutes. When Wang Lan's train was about to depart, Su Xiangwen's train was also about to be checked. Wang Lan tilted his head and looked out of the window in a daze. Aren't you a little slow to be sad at this time? I'm not sad. I'm about to leave Dace's city. I'm a little emotional. I've only left 3 times in my life. The last time was 2 years ago. I have to go out a few times a year. I don't feel like you. But this is the first time I'm on a high-speed train. On the other side, on the train to Jin City, Cece looked out of the window after sitting down. Su Xiangwen had already picked up his phone and was fighting fiercely. Watching a train leave the station, Cece suddenly remembered something. She opened her bag and opened a beautiful jewelry box. Seeing a blue mid-grade soul bead inside, Cece was surprised. Instantly, she felt a lump in her throat and tears welled up in her eyes. It was a 45-minute ride, but she didn't feel tired at all. The train arrived at the station before they finished watching the 2 episodes of the TV series. The 2 of them walked out of the station with their luggage. Outside the station, there were buses specially used by universities to pick up freshmen. Among them, the most conspicuous one was Cebu Gakuen of Shanghai. After all, everything about Cebu Gakuen could arouse the curiosity of the public, especially Cebu Gakuen of Shanghai. Although a Takashi Hoshi walking on the street would not be treated as a panda, a student of Cebu Gakuen of Shanghai wearing a school uniform would definitely attract frequent attention. Even if they were not freshmen of Cebu Gakuen of Shanghai, they would gather outside the school bus and take a group photo with their phones to show off. With the background music, they would post it on the short video platform and receive countless likes immediately. Boss, are you a freshman of Cebu Gakuen of Shanghai? I'm here to buy tea for the boss. I'm already a fan of the boss. Boss, can you post more videos of Cebu Gakuen of Shanghai in the future? Students of Cebu Gakuen of Shanghai would not wait outside the bus. Wang Lan carried their luggage to the outside of the bus. The older students enthusiastically took their luggage and helped them put it away. Then, they gave them their seat numbers and got on the bus to wait. Along the way, all eyes were focused on Wang Lan's face. Regardless of gender, their gazes were burning. These 5 or 6 steps felt as long as 500 or 600 meters. Wang Lan was puzzled. Jiang Xinyu was clearly the beauty beside him. Why were they staring at him? Could it be that his handsomeness had completely crushed Jiang Xinyu's? After Wang Lan sat down, he whispered to Jiang Xinyu, Xinyu, do you feel that something is wrong? Jiang Xinyu raised her head and looked at Wang Lan, puzzled. The atmosphere in the bus was a little stifling. Half of the passengers were seated, but it felt like the bus was empty. Many people intentionally or unintentionally looked at Wang Lan. Although some of them were doing something, their minds were also focused on Wang Lan. From the moment I got on the bus, Countless burning gazes were fixed on me. Those gazes carried some kind of strong signal. I suspect that we might have been targeted. What are you thinking? Jiang Xinyu rolled her eyes at Wang Lan. How could his brain circuit be so strange? Think about it. We don't even know them. Why would they look at me like that? It can't be because of my handsome face, right? How could those who can enter Cebu Gakuen of Shanghai be so superficial? Cough, cough, cough. Suddenly, a handsome guy in the front row coughed violently. It took him a while to recover. Those who can enter Cebu Gakuen of Shanghai are all geniuses, but you are definitely a weirdo. Since you could almost choke me to death, I will definitely make friends with you. Wang Lan, I've heard a lot about you. My name is Tong Wei. I'm from Jian City in Lu Province. Is Wang Lan usually so cheerful? Hello, I'm Tang Duo from Jian City. A sweet-looking girl greeted Wang Lan. Su and the others talked about you the moment they came back, so I couldn't help but take a few more glances at you when I saw you in person. Fellow townsman, nice to meet you. Why didn't I see you at the provincial martial art competition? Please, half of the people in this bus are from the same hometown, okay? A lazy voice was heard. Today is the first day of registration. Those who can arrive at 10:30 a.m. are not far from Shanghai. Tian City, by Zhe Wang Lan. I've heard a lot about you. Damn, you all know me? Why don't I know any of you? The strongest high school student in the history of the province. It's hard for us not to know you. A petite girl smiled with two dimples. You don't know us because we didn't participate in the provincial martial arts competition. Amazing. You are all big shots, but you didn't bother to pass the provincial martial arts competition and directly entered. I'm impressed. I heard your voice from afar. Suddenly, a familiar voice was heard. Myget Suk Castle, who was carrying a backpack, got on the bus. You two ran really fast. I was only 15 minutes behind you. I wanted to say hello when I saw you at the bus stop, but you ran really fast. Wuching, why are you here? I thought you didn't take the college entrance exam? Yes. What's wrong? You didn't take it either, right? But you didn't take part in the provincial martial arts competition either? How did you get accepted by Shanghai Cebu Gakuen? Wang Lan was dumbfounded. Myget Castle was a Takashi Hoshi family. Wang Lan knew that he didn't take part in the provincial martial arts competition or the college entrance exam. He always thought that after graduating from high school, their families would arrange for them to cultivate or work, so they didn't need to go to college. I was guaranteed admission in the second year of junior high school. Why would I take the college entrance exam? Myget Castle said matter-of-factly, making Wang Lan want to ask him a question. So, after the second year of junior high school, you're just idling around? Wang Lan turned to look at Tang Duo, who had spoken at the beginning. You too? No. Tang Duo lowered his head in shame. Before Wang Lan could breathe a sigh of relief, he continued, I'm not as good as Mingwei. I was a year later than him. I was guaranteed admission in the third year of junior high school. Amazing. I was only guaranteed admission in the first year of senior high school. The gap is stark. Because Wang Lan had broken the atmosphere so mischievously, the depressed bus suddenly became cheerful. They were all people who had stirred up the wind and rain, and each of them was at the level of acting tough. After a round of self-introductions, they became familiar with each other immediately. Create a group. Who else hasn't joined? Here it comes. F*CK. What group number? U335. What does it mean? The license plate of our bus. We met on this bus. Isn't this group number very meaningful? The guys were hot and easy to get excited, while the girls were relatively more reserved. However, while they were waiting for the newcomers, they formed a circle and whispered to each other. Chapter 252. The school registration went very smoothly. No seniors jumped out to make their presence known, and no rich second-generation heirs fancied Jiang Xinyu's peerless beauty and ran over to be slapped in the face by Wang Lan. After filling in the form, registering the student information, and receiving the room card, they could go to the dormitory. After sending Jiang Xinyu to the entrance of the female dormitory, Wang Lan brought his luggage to the assigned dormitory according to the admission form. When he entered the dormitory, two people were already lying down in the dormitory. The dormitory was an apartment-style dormitory, with one living room and one bathroom. Each bedroom had two beds. Wang Lan glanced at the two open rooms. They seemed to have been moved. "Hello, everyone. My name is Wang Lan, from Jiang Province. Where do I live?" Wang Lan entered the dormitory and said softly, "F***CK. You're finally here?" The student who was playing games on his phone suddenly put down his phone and exclaimed, "Wang Lan is here? Just in time, there's a score to settle with you." The other student who was lying on the bed in the inner room got up and hurried to the living room. Wang Lan was slightly startled by his roommate's reaction. Looking at the two pairs of eager eyes, Wang Lan asked hesitantly, "Do we know each other?" "No, but I've heard a lot about you." The student lying on the sofa smiled. "Wang Lan, in the past, I was the kind of child who was obedient, sensible, hardworking, and praised by my friends and family. A year ago, my life could be said to be carefree and comfortable. I could have anything I wanted, and I could do whatever I wanted. But ever since the summer break of the third year of high school, my dad would beat me for no reason. The reason he beat me was all because of you." Wang Lan was even more confused. "Is it your biological father? Also, why was it because of me?" "Because my dad raised the standard of excellence. In my family, there was a standard. Once the standard was reached, everything would be peaceful. As long as I completed the task, I could do whatever I wanted. But later on, my dad raised the standard to your level, and I was beaten every day. If my dad didn't have time to beat me, he would let his brothers beat me. Tell me, do I have a score to settle with you? Let his brothers beat you? Are you sure you weren't adopted?" "Ha!" Another student suddenly couldn't hold back his laughter. "Wang Lan, don't listen to his nonsense. Is that a fight?" "That was actual combat training. Right, his father was a soldier. During the summer vacation of our third year of high school, the two of us had originally planned to travel to the Western continent. In the end, we were caught by his father and sent to the military camp to train with the Takashi Hoshi army for the entire summer vacation. He was only released when school was about to start. Originally, he thought that this bitter life would only last for 2 months. But later on, as long as he didn't go to class, he would be dragged to the military camp by his father for training. This year has been even more tiring than an ox. But what does that have to do with me? Who asked his father to keep saying that he was only at this level when he was scolding him? Is it your limit? You're a far cry from Wang Lan. Both of them were 16 years old, and the other party was 10 streets ahead of them. If it were you, wouldn't you be angry? What infuriated him even more was that he considered himself to be extremely talented and hardworking. Other than the second princess, there was no one else in his generation that he would submit to. How could he endure such grievances? He even thought that his father deliberately said that to suppress him. In the end, everyone in the true martial group said that he couldn't compare to you. He was so angry that, look, his face has turned black. Bullsh*T, I'm F***King sunburned, okay. True martial group? May I ask who you are? Wang Lan cupped his fists and asked. Well said, the leader of the true martial group, He Jinza, is my father. I'm He Jing. Wait, don't change the topic. I've been waiting for you for a long time. Just in time, let's go to the field and practice. I want to see how I can compare. Otherwise, I won't be satisfied after suffering for a year. Wang Lan turned to look at another classmate. Does this count as me sitting at home, but trouble comes from the sky? Haha, he was just joking. Don't take it seriously. My name is Ming Guodong. My father is the head of the operations division of the Heavenly Sword Bureau in Shanghai. Wang Lan's eyes narrowed. Was this another senior colonel? Shanghai was a city directly under the jurisdiction of the central government. When the Jade State was still a dynasty, Shanghai and the imperial capital were called the two capitals. Later, after the republic system was changed, Shanghai's status was still preserved. Although they were both heads of the operations division, the head of the operations division in Shanghai was 1 or 2 ranks higher than the one in Sioux City. Both of you are big shots. In the future, I'll rely on both of you to protect me. Why are you pretending to be a big shot? You're acting like we don't know who you are, He Jing said impatiently. If we're talking about the second generation, you're the real second generation, the son of the Southern Yin Emperor. Now, you know everything you need to know. Speaking of which, our dad and your mom are classmates. They are the first generation circle, and we are the second generation circle. In the second generation circle, you're the boss now. Me? Wang Lan was curious. How come I don't know? Don't you know now? Everyone knows that there are 5 elders and 5 emperors in the Takashi Hoshi world. In fact, they can be divided into 5 factions. The 5 elders are the spiritual leaders, and the 5 emperors are the leaders. You're the crown prince. As for us, we're at most the second generation. Wang Lan's expression changed slightly. Was he pushed into the heart of the struggle? At the end of the provincial martial competition, when Di Lao asked him to fight Wang Mingling alone, Wang Lan had guessed. Sure enough, Di Lao pushed him out. What era are we in? Are you still talking about this? Wang Lan said indifferently. He dragged his luggage into the room. Ming Guodong, I'll stay with you? No problem. I'll help you pack. No need, I didn't bring anything. I'll go buy whatever I need later. Oh right, the school doesn't restrict us from going out, right? There's no restriction before school starts. After school starts, it seems like it's only allowed on Sundays. Usually, unless you have permission, the entire school is filled with surveillance and sensors. Rather than a school, it's more like a military fortress. Want to go out together later? I'm guessing you guys just arrived? Aren't we going to the field to fight later? He Jing was still thinking about it. Forget it, He Jing. Even if you're headstrong, you shouldn't hit a wall like this. Didn't you watch the provincial martial competition this year? Wasn't I thrown into the intermediate training grounds by my old man? Helped to maintain his leg. He's treating me as free labor, and he doesn't care about me at all. Guodong, you don't know, but if I wasn't a genius enough, I would have almost become the excrement of exotic beasts a few times. That's good. I have a video on my phone. As the saying goes, know yourself and know your enemy, and you'll be victorious in 100 battles. Only by understanding Wang Lan's strength can you come up with a corresponding strategy. TSK, this young master has nothing to fear. However, in the blink of an eye, He Jing's attitude changed. A video of Wang Lan's battle? The kind where he goes all out? Definitely all out. The kind where he can't even hold back his trump cards. All right, give it to me quickly. I'll fight Wang Lan after I'm done researching it. He Jing said as she walked into the room. Where are you going? Watch it with the projector. You can see it clearly that way. Wang Lan had just finished tidying up his bed when his phone rang. Jiang Xinyu sent him a message. I've already moved into the dorm. There are 2 roommates, 3 in one dorm. Dorm number 305. Why are you sending me this? It's not like I can come and visit. Are you done tidying up? I'm done. Let's go out and buy some daily necessities later. All right, I'll see you at the school gate in an hour. Wang Lan didn't understand why they had to meet in an hour, even though they were done tidying up. What did girls need so much time to do? In any case, in Wang Lan's memory, there was no such thing as a little while that lasted more than 10 minutes. Before 20 minutes had passed, an angry roar suddenly erupted from the room next door. Pervert. Truly a freaking pervert. Following the voice, He Jing walked out of the room in a huff. She sat on the sofa and looked at Wang Lan. How did you manage to completely mutate at your age? He Jing, do you still want to challenge our crown prince, Yin Emperor? Challenge my ass. He blasted half the arena into smithereens with one punch. With my small body, even if I was swept by the aftermath, I would still be kneeling. Wang Lan, I'm afraid that your strength is not below that of the second princess. I've heard you mention the second princess several times. Who is she? Of course, it's the second princess of the Jade State, Yurun. She's a direct descendant of the royal family and an expert at the peak of the galaxy realm. The problem is that she's only a sophomore and is only 18 years old this year. An 18-year-old at the peak of the galaxy realm? Wang Lan exclaimed in surprise. Yes, that's why she's called the #1 genius of the new generation. But that was in the past. In recent years, a lot of monsters have emerged. Take you, for example. The strongest high school student in history is also very famous. It's just a false reputation. Wang Lan said modestly with a smile. TSK, you're obviously very happy, He Jing said viciously. Your mouth is like a ladle. By the way, to celebrate the first day of our enrollment, shall we go out tonight? I'll treat you. Okay, but what about the other one? She'll probably arrive in 2 days. I'm familiar with Shanghai, so I'll take you there later. I guarantee that you'll be satisfied, Ming Guodong said. Can we bring a friend? I have a friend who's coming to Shanghai with me. Is it Jiang Xinyu? He Jing said with a sour face. You have abnormal strength and high talent, yet you still have time to find a girlfriend. We spend almost all our free time on cultivation, yet you still have time to take care of your love life. Maybe you're a winner in life. Okay, by the way, has your girlfriend settled down? Why don't we call her roommates? We'll also have a chance to get to know her. I'll ask for you later, Wang Lan said as he walked to the door and changed his shoes. I'm going out to buy something. Do you want to come with me? No, we've brought everything. After leaving the dormitory, they went straight to the school gate. The boys' dormitory and the girls' dormitory were separated by 2 poles, so meeting at the school gate was the most time-saving. How should he put it? Maybe it was the school's arrangement, but the 2 roommates seemed to be easy to get along with. Plus, the relationship between their parents was there, so the 3 of them were naturally on the same side. Speaking of which, he was pushed out just like that. Although he wasn't happy about it, he didn't reject it either. Wang Lan's experience in his previous life had made him understand that people couldn't escape from their positions in life. No matter where you stood, you were definitely standing in a circle. Most people were in their family circle. Wang Lan's circle was bigger, and he received more attention. Ming Guodong said that he was familiar with Shanghai, but Wang Lan was actually quite familiar with Shanghai as well. Although he rarely came to Shanghai, there was a commercial square in Shanghai's business district. The entire commercial square belonged to Wang Lan, and the annual rent was an astronomical figure. This commercial square was not far from Shanghai's Cebu Gakuen. There were fitness, entertainment, and food inside. However, the supermarkets in the commercial square were members-only supermarkets. Ordinary people wouldn't choose to go there to buy daily necessities. Chapter 253. At 5:30, Wang Lan and Jiang Xinyu found an authentic Jiang cuisine restaurant, Jiangnan Kitchen, according to Ming Guodong's message. He and He Jing went to book a table first, while Wang Lan waited for Jiang Xinyu to arrive. Xinyu, these are my 2 roommates, He Jing, the son of the true martial group's commander He, and this is Ming Guodong. This is Jiang Xinyu. Wang Lan came to the private room and introduced her. Sioux City's Ice Queen, I've heard a lot about you. Ming Guodong quickly stood up and smiled. Jiang Xinyu, my dad told me about you. Back then, you led Wang Lan's team and found a demon's base that they couldn't find after 3 years. You even killed a demon spy. Amazing. He Jing stood up and said respectfully, Hey, that's not what you said to me before. If it was someone else, would you say something completely different? How can you be the same as Jiang Xinyu? Jiang Xinyu came with a girl today. All right, where are your roommates? My 2 roommates are sophomores. They just came back and will probably be here in a while. Second-year seniors? He Jing suddenly lost interest. Seems like we're at a disadvantage. The dishes were served little by little. The 4 of them chatted, and the atmosphere was quite harmonious. Soon, Jiang Xinyu's phone rang. She stood up and said, My roommates are here. He Jing hurriedly opened the door to the private room. Not far from the door, 2 young girls with youthful auras walked in leisurely. One was tall, wearing a white shirt and a pair of high-waisted jeans. The other was half a head shorter than the one beside her. She wore a blue sleeveless dress and had a bag in her hand. Her appearance wasn't very outstanding, but her temperament was outstanding. Her bright eyes scanned the room numbers on both sides. When she saw He Jing open the door, she immediately recognized the room and strode over. However, He Jing, who opened the door, suddenly shrank back and stared at Jiang Xinyu with a serious expression. You live in the same dorm as Second Princess? Second Princess? Who is she? Jiang Xinyu obviously didn't know who the Second Princess was. Yu Ruoyan. Wang Lan said the Second Princess's name softly. In The one who sleeps in the same room with me is called Yuriyun, but I don't know if she is the second princess. What's with He Jing's reaction? I'm fine. It's fine. He Jing stood at the door with a big smile on her face. Even Ming Guodong stood up. Hello, second princess. Second princess. Just as Wang Lan was thinking about whether he should stand up and greet the second princess, Yuriyun opened her mouth. Don't call me second princess. There's no such thing as prince or princess anymore. We've been living together for 200 years, so where did the princess come from? For those who are closer, you can call me Run. For those who are more polite, you can call me Student Yurun. As he spoke, he leisurely walked to Wang Lan's side and pulled out a chair to sit down. Hello, Student Wang Lan. Great-grandfather has been full of praise for you ever since he came back from Sioux City. I've long wanted to meet you. I'm Yu Ryun, a second-year law faculty student. Your great-grandfather? Di Lao. Wang Lan guessed. Yu Ryun replied. My mother is Di Lao's granddaughter. This was the true definition of having a good root and a good seedling. Wang Lan sighed his heart. But what did she mean by that? Was she trying to test him or something else? If he didn't exist, Yu Ryun would undoubtedly be the new generation's flag-bearer. Di Lao's direct bloodline and the identity of a princess of the royal family. No matter if it was talent or strength, she was impeccable, right? But who cares? I'm just a student. It's enough for me to take care of my own studies. You're the provincial champion who was in the limelight at the provincial tournament? The girl opposite him asked with a face full of surprise. No wonder Ryun agreed to come for a meal today. In the past, she would never agree to such social engagements. Hello, I'm Lan Qi. Please take care of me. When these words came out, Wang Lan and the other two couldn't help but frown slightly. Did this girl really not know how to speak? Or was she doing it on purpose? What did she mean Yu Ryun would never agree to such social engagements? Was this a social engagement? Did she have something to ask of you, or what? The problem was, wasn't she trying to raise her own status? Was she an anti-fan? Student Yu Ryun, is our Cebu Gakuin also divided into different departments? I thought there was no distinction between junior and high school. How could it be the same? Everyone's talent is different, and their position on the battlefield is also different. The school is roughly divided into 4 departments: close combat, magic, support, and investigation. However, students aren't defined by these 4 departments. Other than the compulsory courses of each department, students can also choose to take a variety of courses. In our school, there are 80 kinds of elective courses. Each one of them is a skill or specialty. Wang Lan, when school officially starts, you can choose to take a few practical courses. I personally recommend Advanced Star Power, Human Genetics, and Law Analysis. He had never heard of the names of these subjects. He could understand star power, but what did Advanced Star Power mean? Student Wang Lan, Advanced Star Power traces the essence of star power. Research how star power uses Takashi Hoshi and the principles behind Takashi Hoshi. Learning this will be beneficial to your understanding of star power in the future and can help you develop Takashi Hoshi skills. However, I feel that, other than super geniuses like Ryun, there isn't much use in learning it. There are so many Takashi Hoshi skills that you can't even learn all of them. Human genetics has a similar effect. The mysteries of the human body, especially the mysteries of Takashi Hoshi, have only been uncovered to date. Law analysis is even more profound. Lan Qi said a lot of things, but he didn't say anything important. However, Wang Lan felt that it wasn't that she didn't want to say it, but that she didn't know. These 3 subjects are indeed the 3 most profound subjects among the electives. There's no need to talk about genetics. There are so many top scientists in the world who spend their whole lives researching it. What I mean is, although we are Takashi Hoshi, we can't be brash people who don't know anything other than fighting, right? Human genes are a treasure, especially the part of the genome that was sealed by God. It has limitless power. That part of the genome, could it be the part that we Takashi Hoshi awakened? He Jing asked curiously. But haven't we already awakened? Awakening Takashi Hoshi only proves that the part of the genome has been activated, not developed. Just like a person being able to eat, drink, and sleep only proves that he is alive. However, what can this person do? What he can do is to develop. Legend has it that this part of the genome contains the power of God. Whoever can develop this part of the genome will be able to obtain the power of God. Of course, this is just a guess. Whether it's a utopia or not, who knows? As for law analysis, it's actually the law of all things, the law of the universe. After all, in our star palace, the universe will be born after the star river. The birth of the nebula, the embryonic form of the star river, and the accumulation of the star ocean are all for the sake of breaking through to the level above the star ocean realm. At that level, the law of the universe will be developed in the star palace. The realm of the five emperors means that the star palace has already developed a law and can use the power of the law. In front of this power, even a star sea realm cultivator will be annihilated with a flick of the finger. No amount of people can make up for the difference. I think I heard something that I don't understand. Ming Guodong looked at He Jing hesitantly. Do you understand? This might be a topic that only geniuses discuss. It's fine if you don't understand. You will be able to sense it when you reach the late stage of the Star River realm or break through to the Star Sea realm. If you prepare early, you won't have to relearn it when the time comes. Let's not talk about this anymore. Let's eat. I'm starving. Everyone at the table stood up. Well then, to today's meeting, cheers. After dinner, Wang Lan took an early shower and lay on his bed. Now that he had completed the enrollment procedures and relaxed for more than 2 months, it was time to get back to normal. Wang Lan was now at the early stage of the Star Cloud realm. All of his Takashi Hoshi skills had reached the gold level. On the other hand, the gold-level Takashi Hoshi skills required 10,000 skill points to reach the peak. As for Surging Sea of Flames and Life Hymn, the skill points required were 5 times more than the other skills. Even Perplexing Phantom Track required 15,000 skill points. When he thought about the hundreds of thousands of skill points required, Wang Lan felt despair. That was not all. Upgrading from Nebula to the Star River realm required more than 5 million experience points. Damn, it felt like the road ahead was going to be bumpy. Even if it was not enough, he was still quite satisfied. When he thought about it, his future was practically an abyss. Sai, you just entered the school, and you're already sighing like this? Ming Guodong, who was leaning against the headboard and playing games, raised his head and asked, I really envy you guys for being able to level up so smoothly. Wang Lan sighed emotionally. Although the system's cheat had saved Wang Lan a lot of time learning Takashi Hoshi skills, it had also saved him a lot of time. It had also allowed Wang Lan to level up quickly in the early stages. However, it was the system's success and failure. In the later stages, leveling up was simply like a gluttonous beast. They could rely on soul orbs and their own comprehension to break through the shackles, but Wang Lan could not. He could only rely on experience points and skill points to break through. Are you envious of us? Ming Guodong put down his phone and looked at Wang Lan in shock. Can you be more shameless? Do you think I don't know? You're the only one in history who can break through after exhausting all his star power in the last 5,000 years. Are you envious of us leveling up normally? Aren't you afraid of getting beaten up if word of this gets out? Wang Lan was actually speechless in the face of this interrogation. Right, when we have the opportunity to hunt exotic beasts. I'm lacking soul orbs right now. You're speaking as if we don't lack soul orbs. However, don't even think about it before your second year. First year is mainly about theoretical studies. Don't take it lightly. The theories in high school are all superficial and basic. The truly profound and practical theories are only learned in university. If you don't learn these theories well, it will affect your future progress. We only know that cultivating Takashi Hoshi will make us stronger and absorbing soul orbs will make us stronger. However, after reaching the galaxy realm, relying on those alone is useless. There are many good Takashi Hoshi techniques, but if the theory is not solid, you won't be able to learn them. Breaking through the shackles can't only rely on soul orbs, but also on comprehension. Don't bite off more than you can chew and damage your Tao foundation. The foundation is very important. Wang Lan looked at Ming Guodong curiously. You've been aware of this for a long time. You're not young at all. This is the difference between having a foundation and not having one. How can ordinary people know this? They're just absorbing and learning and then only care about improving their strength. They can't wait to become stronger every day. However, the path will only get narrower. To be honest, you've taken too big a step in the beginning, and there will be hidden dangers. Think about it. You've awakened for a little more than a year, and you're already Nebula. Let me tell you, Nebula is a realm of accumulation. 80% of people can't break through to the galaxy realm in their lifetime because they don't have enough foundation. It's too late to make up for it. When the classes officially start, the teachers will tell us about it, even if I don't tell them. Chapter 254. All I did was ask when I could hunt and kill a beast. And you're lecturing me? Are you sure first-year students don't have a chance? Generally speaking, the chances are slim. However, Cebu Gakuin opens its 9-story pagoda once a year. It's similar to a training space, but the beasts inside are much stronger. It's usually used by 4th-year students for their final push. When does it open? November. November. There were still 2 months left. That wasn't too long. Wang thought to himself. Teacher's son, Li had promised him a lot of benefits. Although the 9-story pagoda was meant for 4th-year students, didn't the school want to focus on nurturing him? Shouldn't they at least open a back door? In a daze, Wang Lan's eyelids became heavy. Drip, drip. The clear sound of water dripping rang in his ears. It was like the water droplets that dripped from the stone pillars in an empty cave. He was clearly sleeping in the school dormitory. Where did the dripping sound come from? Was the faucet not turned off? That couldn't be right. It wasn't an old-fashioned faucet. There was no way water was dripping. Wang Lan's consciousness gradually became clear. He slowly opened his eyes. However, in the next instant, Wang Lan's eyes abruptly widened. That was because the dripping sounds were not real dripping. Instead, they were dripping blood. In front of him, in an empty room, was a woman wrapped in a hazy white light. A sharp sword pierced her chest. Fresh blood stained her snow-white dress. Drops of blood dripped from her fingertips. Junior, avenge me! Avenge me! Suddenly, a cool breeze blew. The woman in front of him instantly disappeared like smoke. Wang Lan, who was supposed to sit up, suddenly opened his eyes. He found himself lying on his bed. Ooh! Wang Lan sat up abruptly. He quickly looked at the pitch-black space in front of him. The girl wrapped in white light was nowhere to be seen. The dazzling blood was nowhere to be seen. Am I dreaming? Damn! Wang Lan, I just felt a little cold and turned up the air conditioner by 2 degrees. Do you have to have such a big reaction? Like a zombie? Ming Guodong's exclamation was heard. Eh? Wang Lan turned to look at Ming Guodong. Just now, I had a dream. Tisk. Dreaming? I dream every day, 365 days in a year. I dream of becoming one of the 5 emperors for 200 days. Sleep, sleep. I didn't expect the school to be colder than other places at night. That dream felt very real. I haven't had a dream in a long time, much less a nightmare. Wang Lan felt that it was better for everyone to have fun than to be alone. How could he let his roommates sleep soundly when he was shocked? Just now, there was a beautiful young lady standing there. Her body was emitting moonlight, and she was wearing a snow-white dress. Wang Lan's gloomy voice sounded as he pointed at the place where the woman in his dream had appeared. Ming Guodong's breathing became heavier and heavier. Gulp. And then there was a sword pierced through her chest. Blood dyed her chest red. The blood dripped down her fingers and formed a blood lake on the ground. She slowly came to your bedside and stood beside you. She whispered to you. What did she say? Junior, avenge me, wah. Ming Guodong suddenly screamed and turned on the lights. In an instant, the room became brighter. Wang Lan was also stunned by this scene. You are a Takashi Hoshi master from Nebula. Is that all you have? At this moment, Ming Guodong looked at Wang Lan with a horrified expression. Are you telling the truth? Don't scare me. Did you see the photo? You. What photo? I say, the two of you. Why aren't you sleeping so late? Why were you so surprised just now? Outside the door, He Jing knocked. He Jing, go and bring me the photo you found today. Why? Go. Soon, He Jing arrived at Wang Lan's room again. She casually tossed a photo to Ming Guodong. Why are you in such a hurry? Are you so impatient that you can't help but take a photo? Don't tarnish my goddess. Tomorrow, I still want to find out which year this senior is from. Ming Guodong took the photo and handed it to Wang Lan. Look, is she the girl you were talking about? Wang Lan took the photo and looked at it. His face suddenly changed. When Wang Lan woke up again, he always thought that it was just a relatively realistic dream. But the moment he saw the photo, Wang Lan's heart suddenly tightened. In this world, there are really ghosts. The woman in the photo was the woman Wang Lan saw just now. Even the clothes were exactly the same. But how could it be? Wang Lan was able to transmigrate to this world. He believed in the existence of God. Even demons existed. The existence of God was completely reasonable. However, even if there was a God, there was no guarantee that there would be a ghost. God was just an unexplainable science. Demons were just creatures that humans could not understand. Even the existence of Takashi Hoshi was confirmed by science to be a part of the X gene in the human evolution process. It was just that some did not, and some did not. And this gene was spread throughout the human race. There was no mandatory heredity. So, even if this world was so unscientific, Wang Lan only believed in things that had been confirmed. And for things that no one saw with their own eyes and had not been confirmed, most people would choose to deny or be indifferent. Ghosts were one of them. The existence of human souls had been confirmed, but ghosts did not. Because the soul and the body were in a symbiotic relationship, there was no such thing as a soul existing after the death of the body, let alone a soul leaving the body to become another kind of life. The symbiotic relationship between the soul and the body theoretically eliminated the possibility of ghosts. When dead, the soul would dissipate. Without a soul, how could there be a ghost? But what did he see just now? Wang Lan, don't be in a daze. Tell me, was the person you saw just now her? Seeing Wang Lan's face change greatly, Ming Guodong already had an answer in his heart. His voice began to tremble uncontrollably. What are you talking about? Wang Lan saw that senior. Where? He Jing asked excitedly. She was like a male dog in heat, almost sticking out her tongue. In this room, Ming Guodong's trembling voice sounded, making He Jing slightly stunned. Wang Lan said that senior had a sword in her body. She was covered in blood and told me that she wanted me to avenge her. It's over. We might be entangled. Xiao Duo. He Jing quickly stopped Ming Guodong's words. What avenge her? Senior is so cute. How could she die so young? I'll just ask my senior tomorrow. By the way, where did you get this photo? Wang Lan asked curiously. We came early today. We found it under the bed when we were cleaning. Isn't this the male dormitory? Why is there a photo of a woman? Who knows? We'll ask tomorrow. But the problem is, what should we do tonight? I don't dare to sleep. Ming Guodong suddenly turned his face and looked at He Jing with a bitter face. What? My gender, male, hobbies, female. I'm determined not to be gay. Let's go to your room. This? Are you serious? He Jing still didn't believe that Wang Lan and the others were telling the truth and asked hesitantly, how can I joke about this kind of thing at a time like this? Wang Lan's eyes suddenly flashed. He suddenly found that a mission had appeared in the system's layout. Since Wang Lan received the Shanghai Cebu Gakuen acceptance notice, the mission panel had been cleared. Now that there was an extra mission in progress, could it be that female ghost? It can't be, right? Is this the ghost's love? I'll sleep here. Anyway, she didn't look for me. Wang Lan thought about it and said, since the female ghost wanted him to avenge her, she shouldn't harm him. Moreover, Wang Lan felt that the so-called female ghost was different from the kind of ghost he knew. It couldn't attack people. Ming Guodong still slept next door. Wang Lan didn't lie down for long and also fell asleep. Early in the morning, they were awakened by the knocking on the door of the dormitory. Wang Lan, are you still alive? Scram. Wang Lan gave a strong response. School hadn't officially started, but the school's cafeteria was officially open. The three of them went to the cafeteria to eat. After eating, they returned to the dormitory. Wang Lan picked up his notebook and looked for information about the girl. But strangely, he couldn't find any information about the girl on the school's intranet. Could it be a senior from a long time ago? Wang Lan took out a USB flash drive from his suitcase and inserted it into the computer. Soon, the progress bar was full. Xiao AI 007 has been successfully awakened. Hello, Wang Lan. Xiao AI, sneak into the school's network for me and check the owner of this photo for me. He turned on a laptop camera and quickly scanned the photo. Okay, Wang Lan, please don't turn off the computer and disconnect from the network. After asking Xiao AI to search, Wang Lan picked up the reading card on the bed and went to the library. Although Shanghai Sibugakuen was a Takashi Hoshi school, it mainly taught fighting skills and the theory and practice of Takashi Hoshi techniques. However, Shanghai Sibugakuen was also a first-class school in the country. It had all the courses that ordinary universities had, and it might also have courses that ordinary universities didn't have. Therefore, Shanghai Sibugakuen's teachers weren't necessarily Takashi Hoshi. Many of them were ordinary people with the title of PhD professors. Naturally, Shanghai Sibugakuen's library was also a vast ocean of knowledge. Although Wang Lan had been a genius in the eyes of others since he was a child, Wang Lan knew that he wasn't one. He was just more hardworking than others and knew how to use his time better than others. Although he was also confused by what Yoroyun said at dinner last night, he didn't forget about it like he Jing and the others. When he arrived at the library, Wang Lan followed the classification guide and found advanced star power. The bookshelf was full of books, all of which were about theoretical analysis and practical records of advanced star power. Because advanced star power hadn't been developed into a theory that could be used as a general outline of the subject, Wang Lan saw that many of the book titles conflicted with each other. Perhaps in the future, a genius would have a flash of inspiration and summarize an epic-making theory and incorporate these dazzling books into a system. Wang Lan casually pulled out a book called Phenomena and Questions about Advanced Star Power and went to the seat next to him to open it. As soon as he read it, he was quickly attracted by the description of advanced star power. Chapter 255. Wang Lan lost track of time. When Wang Lan raised his head again, the sky was already dark. High-level astral power did not refer to the high-level use of astral power. No matter how astral power was used, it was still low-level. High-level astral power was to trace the source of astral power and understand how astral power was produced. In high school textbooks, astral power was produced by the human body. Every cell in the human body contained astral power. Astral power was extracted from the cells through special methods. Cells that lost astral power would age faster and even die. However, there was a paradox. If astral power was extracted from human cells, then every Takashi Hoshi would have an average amount of astral power. It would definitely not be like now. Some people had a huge amount of astral power, while others lacked it. Of course, some people might say that it was soul beads. That was because people with strong astral power absorbed a large amount of soul beads. Soul beads were also needed to break through the upper limit of the Star Palace. However, soul beads were only the key to unlock the lock. The total amount of astral power one absorbed could not be compared to the amount of astral power one obtained after breaking through the Star Palace level. It was like pouring water into a cup. Even if the cup exploded and the water flowed into a bigger cup, there would still be the same amount of water. It was impossible to fill up the bigger cup just because the cup exploded and the water flowed into a bigger container. Therefore, the real source of astral power was definitely not human cells. What was said in high school was that Takashi Hoshi first obtained astral power, not the real source of astral power. Therefore, if astral power did not come from the body, where did it come from? Some people believed that it came from heaven and earth. It had been proven that heaven and earth were filled with astral power. Even the entire universe was filled with astral power. However, this huge amount of astral power could not be used by Takashi Hoshi. It could not even be collected. The astral power between heaven and earth was like a beautiful woman in a painting. It was right in front of you, but you could see it but could not get it. You could touch it, but you could never make it pregnant or give birth to a child. Therefore, some people hypothesize that Takashi Hoshi's X gene must have the ability to absorb and transform the stellar energy between heaven and earth. It was just that we couldn't find it. If this hypothesis was true, it would perfectly explain why Takashi Hoshi had astral power while ordinary people did not. It would also explain the source of astral power, and even explain why some people had more astral power than others. The power of the conversion was a problem. However, an assumption was still an assumption, especially such an empty assumption. But even if there were so many unsolved mysteries, the domain of high-level astral power still attracted Wang Lan like the song of a siren. He wanted to know the truth more than anyone else. What was the actual form of skill points in the body? What the hell is experience points? Wang Lan did not attempt to use science to explain the existence of the system, but he at least wanted to know if the power he had now belonged to him or the system. If the system was just a manifestation, then it would be fine. However, if the system was the essence, then Wang Lan would probably panic. He closed the book and put it back on the shelf. Wang Lan stood up and left the library. Because school had not started yet, there were very few people in the library. He only saw a few students when he walked to the periphery. When he returned to the dormitory, Xiao Ai's work was already done. Looking at the information shelf on the table, Wang Lan opened it and was stunned. There's only one student registration form. There's only one student registration form in the school system. Ma Chu Chu, female, Long City, Sichuan Province, enrolled in the year 5016. Below is the student's relevant information. Finally, the file was filed. Student died, student registration canceled. The cause of death was actually suicide. Wang Lan was silent after reading the information. For Shanghai Cebu Gakuen to cover up this matter so thoroughly, the matter was definitely not that simple. While Wang Lan was guessing, He Jing and Ming Guodong returned to the dormitory. These two guys still had a conscience. They actually brought food for Wang Lan. Wang Lan, guess what I found out? What? Damn, we're really living in a haunted house. Ming Guodong sighed with a depressed face. It turns out that the senior was called Ma Chu Chu. She was in the 6th year. During her sophomore year, she seemed to have fallen in love with a freshman from a Takashi Hoshi family. However, the family didn't allow it and broke up the couple. The Takashi Hoshi family member broke up with Senior Ma. Senior Ma was heartbroken and used the weapon her boyfriend gave her to commit suicide in the dormitory. At that time, it caused a sensation. Almost all the seniors in the 3rd and 4th year knew about it. Later, there were rumors that the dormitory was haunted. After that, no one lived in the dormitory. And that dormitory is the one we're living in. Damn! Wait, this isn't the male dormitory? It used to be the female dormitory. Because of the rumors that it was haunted in the year 180 and the male dormitory was too strong, we switched dormitories with the female dormitory. But no one lived in this dormitory. No wonder cleaning the dormitory can find stockings and women's underwear. I thought that the senior who lived there was a pervert. Wah, then what should we do? What else can we do? We asked to change dormitories. If he doesn't change dormitories for us, we'll go out and rent a house. Even if the rent in Shanghai is expensive, we can still afford to rent it for 10,000 yuan. Damn, you're renting a dormitory? 10,000 yuan? You're renting a suite, right? Yes, if not a suite, what's the rent? A single room? Wang Lan, why don't you call the Internal Affairs Department? He Jing came over and asked softly. Why me? You're our boss. If not you, who else can it be? Wait, when did I become your boss? Just to push me out. You don't even have a bottom line? From the moment you came to the dormitory, you were. From the moment we were assigned to the same dormitory, you were the dormitory leader. Looking at the unwavering strategic alliance between the two, it was obvious that they had discussed it before returning to the dormitory. Although Wang Lan was not afraid of ghosts, especially after becoming a Takashi Hoshi, he did not want to have a bloody woman standing beside his bed in the middle of his sleep. Wang Lan was not afraid, but he was worried that it would affect his sleep. After thinking for a while, Wang Lan finally nodded. Okay. The phone conversation went smoothly. It was so smooth that Wang Lan could not believe it was real. Almost as soon as Wang Lan mentioned his request, the other party immediately agreed and came over to change the dormitory doorplate and the dormitory key. This efficiency was as if they were waiting for Wang Lan to ask for a change of dormitory. It was only the second day of moving in, so there was very little luggage. The three of them only needed to make one trip to the dormitory to move everything. The new dormitory was on the 6th floor, and they had to climb the stairs every day. However, this was not a problem for Takashi Hoshi. This amount of exercise would not even change their breathing. I can finally have a good night's sleep. Wang Lan, let me tell you, I couldn't sleep last night. I'm fine. I didn't see anything unclean after that. Beep, beep, beep. Suddenly, Wang Lan's phone rang. The moment he saw the screen, Wang Lan's expression changed drastically. A red dot was flashing on the map. Wang Lan, the style of your phone, I think it looks familiar. Ming Guodong looked at the open window and the empty bed. He did not have time to say the last word. What's going on? He Jing was just about to drop by. As soon as the door opened, a figure flashed and disappeared. I thought that Wang Lan had just started to take off. Now I know that he has already flown further than us. Ming Guodong looked at the window and slowly closed it. What did you say? Also, what's going on with Wang Lan? He has a mission. Mission? What mission? How would I know? I'm not from the Heavenly Sword Bureau. Wait, you mean? Wang Lan is not only our roommate, a student of Shanghai Sibugakuen, but he is also, I didn't know at first, but I happened to recognize the counterfeit phone that he just took out. It should be. After Wang Lan rushed out of the dormitory, he instantly turned into a stream of light and ran away. At full speed, the school, which originally felt very big, did not feel that big anymore. Stop! Just as he was about to run to the school gate, a thunderous voice suddenly blasted into Wang Lan's ears. That roar made Wang Lan's body feel numb for a moment. An old man wearing a sanitation worker's hat and an orange vest was holding a broom and looking at Wang Lan. What are you doing? Going out so late? Wang Lan did not have time to think about how many crouching tigers and hidden dragons there were in Shanghai Sibugakuen. Maybe a random toilet cleaner could be a peerless master. He took out a red ID from his pocket. Go. The old man did not even have the intention to identify it. He waved his hand impatiently. Be careful. If you have any trouble, ask the school for help. Although school hasn't started yet, there's still a few old bones around. Wang Lan nodded in response. With a flash of her figure, she disappeared once again. The signal for help was less than 3 kilometers away from Wang Lan, but it was 3 kilometers away from the prosperous area. With Wang Lan's full speed, it would take at most 10 minutes to arrive. Like a ghost in the night, Wang Lan flashed a few times and arrived inside a park. Here, the aftermath of the battle was as bright as a lamp in the night. Wang Lan hurried over, only to see 2 black figures fighting fiercely in the night. One of them was wearing a black baseball cap. One of his hands was pressed against his chest as he waved his weapon desperately to block the Takashi Hoshi's attacks. The figure of the opposing star martial artist was like a ghost that appeared and disappeared unpredictably. If it were not for the man in the baseball cap who relied on his exquisite earth element star martial technique to change the terrain while blocking the attack, he would have already died under the opponent's hands. The brother who asked for help should be one of them, but Wang Lan could not be sure since they were not in uniform. In an instant, Wang Lan's figure appeared in the sky. He pointed at the battle between the two and shot out a crescent moon arrow. Whoosh! The sudden attack made the two's movement stop, and they separated in an instant. The man in the baseball cap suddenly coughed violently. He held his chest and was about to collapse. The black figure opposite him was stunned for a moment. His figure flashed and disappeared into the night. Are you a brother from the Bureau? The man in the baseball cap asked cautiously. You're a brother from the Heavenly Sword Bureau? Footsteps were heard, and Wang Lan appeared in the darkness. I'm Kai Jianjun from the Shanghai Intelligence Department. You look unfamiliar. I've never seen you in the Bureau. Wang Lan from the Heavenly Sword Bureau's Intelligence Department. I'm currently studying in Shanghai Sibugakuen. Wang Lan took out his ID and walked slowly. The other party was slightly stunned. He had never met someone like this before, but he quickly took out his ID. After checking the ID, the two of them relaxed their vigilance. "You're hurt? Come, let me heal you." Chapter 256. Wang Lan's body was suddenly surrounded by a hazy light that was as pure as moonlight. Suddenly, the light turned into a beam of light and connected to the injured Heavenly Sword Bureau member. Almost instantly, the other party felt a change in his body. He stared at Wang Lan in shock. You're a medical Takashi Hoshi? Quick, over here." Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. Several figures flashed and landed beside Wang Lan and Kai Jianjun. "Old Kai, are you all right? Out in the open. Quick, go to Pier 17. Someone is smuggling a large number of dimensional stones." "How are you?" "I'm fine. This brother is very good at healing. My injuries are no longer serious." Understanding Knight turned to look at Wang Lan. The light on Wang Lan's body dissipated. Seeing Understanding Knight's colonel rank, he quickly stood at attention and saluted. "Senior Special Agent Wang Lan of the Heavenly Sword Bureau's Intelligence Department. Greetings, Chief. Oh, you're the mascot of Sioux City. I've heard of you. Without further ado, let's go to Pier 17 immediately. Little brother, come along." "Yes." The group of people rushed over. Because they were in a hurry, there were not many people who had transportation. Therefore, most of them had to run. However, Takashi Hoshi's legs were not to be underestimated. When they ran at full speed, they were not slower than a car. In less than 10 minutes, they had arrived at the quiet Pier 17. Pier 17 was a pier that was still under construction. It had been built in 2016 and was expected to be completed in 26 years. There was a temporary warehouse for rent outside the pier. Pier 17 was huge. If not for Kai Jianjun leading the way, it would not have been easy to find the place, even if they knew that someone was smuggling dimensional stones. Dozens of members of the Heavenly Sword Bureau carefully approached the target warehouse. The black warehouse in front of them was slightly distorted under the bright moon and night. Other than the sound of the construction site in the distance, there was no sound around. I was discovered by them as soon as I investigated this place. Then, I was chased by 4 teams of experts. I killed 3 along the way and was seriously injured. If Brother Wang Lan had not come and scared them away, I might have been glorious. But I've already been exposed. The other party might have already been alerted and might have moved. That's not right. Yi suddenly understood. He stopped in his tracks and shouted, "The warehouse in front is a little too distorted." The moment Ming Yi spoke, Wang Lan also realized this. The warehouse in front of him became exceptionally distorted under the hazy moonlight, like a pair of chopsticks reflected in the water. The instant Ming Ye's voice fell, the space before them suddenly became clear and crystalline. The warehouse seemed to have been forcefully twisted into a strange shape. Not good. Those bastards actually activated the spatial stone to open a different dimension. Buzz, buzz, buzz. Roar. A mournful roar rang out. A ferocious exotic beast with a head like a pterosaur suddenly poked its head out from the sparkling water, letting out a mournful roar at Wang Lan and the others. Boom! A bolt of lightning shot out from Ming Ye's finger, instantly blasting the exotic beast's head apart. Roar your mother. Charge. Close this alternate dimension. Wang Lan had never seen an alternate dimension open at the last minute. The moment Ming Yi gave the order, Wang Lan followed the dozens of people around him and rushed into the alternate dimension. It was as if they had passed through a water curtain, but also as if they had jumped into water. They were still in the outside world a moment ago, but the next moment they had entered the alternate dimension. The interior was a spatial world like a mountain range. There was no sun in the gray sky, but there was light. In the distance, a dense pack of exotic beasts was gathering at the entrance. Fortunately, they're all-star blazing exotic beasts. Ming Yi sighed in relief when he saw these exotic beasts with the body of a leopard and the head of a pterosaur. Team up and close the alternate dimension as soon as possible. Yes. The Magic City Heavenly Sword Bureau was full of experienced warriors. They could form a team with tacit understanding as long as they were given the order to team up. However, as a newbie, Wang Lan awkwardly found himself all alone. Ming Yi immediately noticed Wang Lan's situation and said, "Wang Lan, I've heard a little about your healing abilities. You'll be in charge of providing support and healing." Yes. The battle began. In an instant, the Magic City Heavenly Sword Bureau's warriors erupted with powerful damage output. 5 terrifying AoE Takashi Hoshi skills wreak havoc in 5 different areas, instantly engulfing the thousands of exotic beasts around them. Such a magnificent battle scene was very rare to see in a one-on-one battle. In an instant, Wang Lan's fighting spirit was ignited. After 30 seconds of continuous damage output, the exotic beasts in the distance stopped charging and gathered outside of the Heavenly Sword Bureau's Takashi Hoshi's attack range and roared. When the Heavenly Sword Bureau's Takashi Hoshi skills gradually fell to the ground, the exotic beasts suddenly opened their mouths, and countless wind blades poured down on the Heavenly Sword Bureau's warriors like a rain of bullets. If it was just a single wind blade, it wouldn't be that powerful, and the scene wouldn't be that shocking. However, with thousands of wind blades pouring down from the sky, the terror felt by those who were in the situation was extraordinary. "Wall of water pole!" Ming Yi suddenly roared. In an instant, the 5 Takashi Hoshi stood in a row with him. In an instant, a wall of water appeared in front of everyone, blocking the rain of wind blades. Roar! With a loud roar, some of the exotic beasts in front charged at them again, while some of the exotic beasts behind used wind blades to cover their charge. This was a classic tactic created by humans, but the exotic beasts instinctively used it. Kill! Facing the exotic beasts, the Heavenly Sword Bureau's members brazenly charged forward. Everyone spread out. Wang Lan roared. He grabbed a piece of strong ground, squatted down, and slammed his palm on the ground. Earth's surging sea of fire. Boom! Even the ground that had just been washed by the water instantly burst into flames. This time, Wang Lan didn't hold back, so the sea of fire that rushed out was no longer a wildfire, but a rolling sea of fire. In his field of vision, he saw a 10-meter-tall wave of flames rolling towards him. The charging exotic beasts crashed into the sea of fire, and their flesh was burned to ashes in the flames. Good! The Heavenly Sword Bureau's members exclaimed in unison. With this move, Wang Lan's battle results directly turned hundreds of charging exotic beasts into ashes. The battle results were great, and even Ming Ye's face was full of disbelief. I didn't expect Brother Wang Lan to be more than just a medical Takashi Hoshi. Damn it, when did a medical Takashi Hoshi become better at fighting than us? Kai Jianjun said with a look of disbelief. Impressive. You can use the S-grade Takashi Hoshi skill, just like that. With this Takashi Hoshi skill, we don't have anything to worry about. Brother Wang Lan, you lead the way. We'll directly kill our way to the spatial node. The thing that they didn't lack the most when fighting in an alternate dimension was mana. The S-grade Takashi Hoshi skill directly emptied Wang Lan's mana bar. But after killing hundreds of exotic beasts, the soul orbs were enough for Wang Lan to replenish his mana 7 or 8 times. With everyone's help, Wang Lan quickly picked up the soul orbs. His mana bar was full, and a few hundred skill points were added to it. How wonderful! The exotic beasts in this dimension were all wind attribute exotic beasts, which happened to be perfectly countered by Wang Lan. In addition, Wang Lan himself was quite strong. To be honest, Wang Lan didn't feel any danger in this alternate dimension. With Wang Lan leading the way and Ming Yi killing powerful exotic beasts, dozens of people formed a cone-shaped assault team and charged forward. In less than an hour, the group arrived at the spatial node. It was Wang Lan's first time seeing a spatial node. It was like a vine made of crystals emitting a blue glow. From time to time, starlight powder would fall from the vines. In the open, this is a spatial node? What exactly is it? I don't know what it is, either. All we need to know is that it's a spatial node. Many scientists are studying what spatial nodes are, but all we need to know is that the alternate dimension will shatter if we shatter the spatial node. As he spoke, star power flashed around him, and he punched the spatial node. Crack! With a crisp sound, the blue gem in the center of the spatial node instantly cracked like glass. Why didn't you use Takashi Hoshi? Spatial nodes are very special. No Takashi Hoshi can destroy them, but they are very fragile. You only need to hit them with a force of more than 5 tons to shatter them. As he spoke, Mingyi punched again. Boom! With this punch, the entire dimension seemed to tremble violently. The spatial node in front of them suddenly cracked. Pieces of debris fell off and dissipated in the air. A hazy white light overflowed from the spatial node and instantly swept across Wang Lan's body. Energy can be forcibly loaded. Do you want to load it? In an instant, Wang Lan's heart skipped a beat. What was that forcibly loaded last time? It seemed to be in the form of a phoenix, right? Yes. Scanning and forcibly loading container. Energy can be loaded in the form of a phoenix. Do you want to consume skill points to load it? It's already come to this. Isn't it bullsh**? T? In an instant, the skill points on the system panel decreased rapidly, as if they were being devoured, at a rate of 10 points per second. Even Wang Lan couldn't stop it in time. Loading completed. In less than 3 seconds, more than 40 skill points were spent. But wasn't that too fast? As the loading ended, the spatial node in front of them also disappeared completely. Then, the entire dimension began to distort and gradually became hazy. Retreat. The dimension is collapsing. Mingyi shouted. The Heavenly Sword Bureau members instantly rushed to the exit. At the exit, they met up with their brothers who were blocking the alternate dimension. The group rushed out of the alternate dimension in a single file. Looking back at the warehouse, the entire warehouse gradually extinguished like a flame amidst the distortion. In this battle, they killed almost 5,000 exotic beasts. Among them, Wang Lan received 20,000 experience points and 700 skill points. This amount of experience points was only 1/10 of the 200,000 required to level up. But the income was still proportional to the effort. The astral power consumed was replenished by the soul orb, so the battle didn't take much time. Let me introduce myself again. I'm Mingyi, Director of Operations of the Heavenly Sword Bureau in Shanghai. Little brother Wang Lan, you're working in the Heavenly Sword Bureau, right? Now that you're in Shanghai and will be studying in Shanghai for 4 years, you might as well work in Shanghai Heavenly Sword Bureau. Then, does that mean I'm jumping ship? Not really. You're just temporarily attached. Your position is still in Sioux City. I don't have a position in Sioux City yet. Wang Lan complained. Then, he showed an obedient expression to Mingyi. Don't call me little brother in public. Ming Guodong and I are roommates. Oh. What a coincidence. Then you can call me Uncle Ming or Uncle Yi. Let's go back to the bureau. Chapter 257. Uncle Ming, why do alternate dimensions open? On the way back, Wang Lan asked in confusion. Although you're already a qualified soldier, you just entered university and are still a newbie, so what you know is the same as most newbies. First of all, why do alternate dimensions exist? In the beginning, humans always thought that alternate dimensions were the work of demons. Because since ancient times, demons and beasts have been like natural allies, constantly invading our world, causing disaster after disaster. With the revival of technology 200 years ago and the rapid development of technology now, many things that we hold on to and believe in are now in question, including alternate dimensions. Alternate dimensions actually have nothing to do with demons. Beasts are the original inhabitants of alternate dimensions. Alternate dimensions are very complicated spaces. The most mainstream term is subspace. There is no complete law and operating rules of space. The mystery of its existence is like the mystery of our human existence and why there is life on Sky Blue Planet. It is one of the top 10 unsolved mysteries since ancient times. Alternate dimensions are inevitable and exist randomly. Just like where there is light, there is shadow. You like light, and don't like shadow, but you can never throw the shadow away. Other small countries suffer from the irregular opening of alternate dimensions, because every time an alternate dimension opens, the beasts inside will rush out and cause great harm to the city and people. But the stronger countries are relatively stable, and the opening of alternate dimensions is much less frequent. Do you know the reason? Wang Lan shook his head. Because of the existence of reclaimed dimensions. Mingyi looked out the window toward the east. Reclaimed dimensions are essentially alternate dimensions, but this alternate dimension is very big. But in the beginning, the reclaimed dimensions were very small, and the reclaimers expanded them step by step into a huge space. Why reclaim? Many people don't understand. The reclaimers work so hard, and they are in danger of dying at any time. Do they work so hard for the soul, orbs? To become stronger? No, it is to protect our country. If the army is our country's sword, then the reclaimers are our country's shield. Reclaimed dimensions are like the city walls of a country. Alternate spaces were opened without order, and no one knew when and where they would appear. And alternate spaces were attracted to each other. Just like a soap bubble, if a space was opened, then if another space opened near it, it would be absorbed by the first space. Do you understand what I mean? I understand. It's just like gravity. Another law of alternate dimensions is that a small space is attached to a large space. As long as the Wasteland Explorer's space was large enough, the space around the Wasteland Explorer would open in the Wasteland Explorer's space. It was precisely because there were 5 open spaces in our country that there were almost no records of an irregular opening of alternate spaces in our country. However, there was an exception to this, and that was the use of the space stone to forcefully open an alternate dimension. The space stone is like a magnet that firmly holds the alternate space in place. The space that was originally going to be sucked into the reclaimed space is forcibly held back. So, this is the reason why that space appeared just now. Therefore, this is the reason why the country strictly prohibits the smuggling of space stone. Yilong coldly said, "Space stone is a good thing. If used well, it will benefit the country and the people. But at the same time, it is a double-edged sword and will bring disaster to us." Therefore, many Takashi Hoshi clans defame the country's law for no reason, saying that only the officials are allowed to set fires, but the people are not allowed to light lamps. But it is nothing more than to satisfy their own interests. Interests? Can it be sold for money? Money? What is it to those Takashi Hoshi clans? Didn't you see it just now? Exotic beasts, soul orbs. These beasts and soul orbs are not recorded in any records, so there is no need to pay taxes. You mean today's opening of the alternate dimension is its most likely? Then what if the exotic beasts in the alternate dimension they open are very fierce? If they can eat it, they will eat it. If they can't, then they will pat their butts and leave. As long as the beginning and the end are cleaned up, who will know that they did it? Even if they guessed, what can they do without evidence? When the time comes, won't the Heavenly Sword Bureau clean up the mess? Even if the Heavenly Sword Bureau can't clean it up, don't they still have the army and the experts sent by the country? Shameless. So, for these kinds of people, if we find one, we will deal with them one by one. No matter what their status is, if they cross this red line, we will not tolerate them. As they spoke, the group of people returned to the Heavenly Sword Bureau. Wang Lan, thank you for tonight. I will help you with the registration procedures. You could just be registered in my operations office. Is there a problem? No problem. Take a statement later to keep a record. Okay. All right, Uncle Ming. Do you know that a female student from Shanghai, Cebu Gakuen, committed suicide 2 years ago? I have to check the internal information. Why? Are you concerned about this? Does it have anything to do with that female student? No, it's just... Uncle Ming, you are very knowledgeable. Are there ghosts in this world? Ghosts? Mingyi looked at Wang Lan and suddenly laughed. There are definitely no ghosts. Don't even think about it. But then, Wang Lan told Mingyi about what happened last night. Mingyi, who initially thought it was a joke, gradually became serious. The situation you're talking about is not a ghost, but a remnant of mental strength. After all, we Takashi Hoshi are different from ordinary people. If it is purely mental strength, it cannot be left behind after a person dies. But if it is a Takashi Hoshi, it can be done. This is like an illusion. For example, a Takashi Hoshi cast an illusion on another Takashi Hoshi, and you become a dog. Then, the person under the illusion will really think of himself as a dog and imitate all the actions of a dog. Even if the Takashi Hoshi who cast the illusion is killed, the illusion will not be automatically removed. It requires another Takashi Hoshi to disrupt the star power of the person under the illusion to help him break free from the illusion. And the situation you saw is very likely to be an illusion in the room, and then when the conditions are met, the illusion will be triggered. So, I was under the illusion last night. Was that illusion released by that senior sister? Or was it released by someone else? Normally, even if it was an illusion, it would not last for so long. Moreover, the girl in the illusion asked you to avenge her. But if it was the caster himself, why didn't he directly tell you who to take revenge on? Who to take revenge on? Leaving such a mystery, I guess there's only one possibility. The caster did not know the truth. He felt that the girl died unjustly, but he did not know who killed her. So, he used the illusion on you. So it is like this, then it makes sense. It's good that there are no ghosts. Ha ha! Wang Lan, look. This is the information about the incident 2 years ago, which was classified as a suicide. Her boyfriend was a direct descendant of the Duanmu family and was the son of the patriarch. And that Ma Chu-Chu was just a girl from an ordinary family in the Chuanfu. Although her talent was outstanding, her status was different. The two were finally forced to break up. Ma Chu-Chu was so sad that she used the weapon her boyfriend gave her to kill herself. Are you sure it was a suicide? The Heavenly Sword Bureau filed the case as a suicide. If you want to reverse the case, you can investigate, but you must have sufficient evidence. Wang Lan smiled. School is about to start. I don't have the leisure to do that. At this moment, there was a sudden noise from outside. A red-clothed captain came into the office and looked at Wang Lan with slight hesitation. Xiao Wan, take Wang Lan to make a statement and then arrange for him to rest. He can't go back to the school dormitory. Okay, Director, we were late. After we got your order, we immediately followed the vine to find the melon. But when we found the trading company, someone had already killed all the people in the trading company and destroyed the account books and computers. Killed all? How many people? This trading company was founded by a team of reclaimers. There were 17 core members, all of whom were killed. However, these 17 core members rarely gather together. Today, they were all killed in one fell swoop. I'm guessing that the one who did it is related to their commander. This is obvious. Losing the lead is not a reason for us to give up on the investigation. Continue investigating. Yes, he slept in the Heavenly Sword Bureau's dormitory for a night and returned to the dormitory early the next morning. He Jing and Ming Guodong didn't ask where Wang Lan went. They acted as if Wang Lan had never left. Unknowingly, it was September 1st, the day of school officially started. Unlike the previous 2 days, the empty school suddenly became overcrowded. The atmosphere of the university campus was completely different from that of middle school. The students of middle school all looked like green peaches that had not yet shed their youthfulness. But the students of the university were all like ripe fruits that couldn't help but emit a temptation to get close. The girl with a ponytail and no makeup was definitely a new student who had just arrived at the school. The seniors all walked the mature route. Even if it was the school uniform, they could still give off a different vibe when they wore it. Wang Lan was very depressed. A combat-type Takashi Hoshi like me, which idiot was assigned to the support type? Even if he wasn't a magic type, shouldn't he have been assigned to the close combat type? Although Wang Lan was unconvinced, He Jing and Ming Guodong were so envious that they wished they could be in his place. The support type was famous for having more females than males. In Cebu Gakuen, the magic type had the most equal number of males and females, while the close combat type was made up of rough old men. As for the recon type, although there were more males than females, it was still balanced. But in the support type, 80% of the support type were female Takashi Hoshi. Each and every one of them was soft and cute. Wanlon walked through the support type teaching building. He was like a green dot in a field of flowers. He was as eye-catching as he could be. Being surrounded by beauties sounded beautiful, but if you really fall in love with them, then it wouldn't be so beautiful. Especially when it was said that there were more girls who liked to prank male classmates, such as forcing a cross-dressing boss. In any case, there were a lot of posts related to this. When Wanlon saw it, the hair on his back stood up. It was scary. The first thing to do when school started wasn't military training. That was something that normal universities needed. Seibu Gakuen didn't need it at all. The first thing to do when school started was elective subjects. In addition to the compulsory courses of tactics, battlefield survival, in-depth research on demons and other worlds, advanced combat, and spiritual imprint, all students had to take at least 4 elective courses. There were a total of 9 courses, and the amount of learning wasn't any less than in high school. Chapter 258. In just one morning, he had chosen his elective course and got to know a bunch of girls in class. At noon, Wang Lan and Jiang Xinyu went to the cafeteria together. Beside Jiang Xinyu was Lan Qi, the second-year senior whom he had met the last time. Xinyu, Senior Lan. I've got your food, Jiang Xinyu said coldly. What did you choose for the elective course today? I chose all 3 courses that Senior you suggested. There's also energy study. You didn't choose battlefield medicine? Lan Qi asked curiously. I heard from Xinyu that you have the medical Takashi Hoshi talent, so you were assigned to the support type. That's why it's strange. I have the medical Takashi Hoshi skill, and it's not bad, so there's no need to learn battlefield medicine. In the afternoon, I have to report to the various elective teachers. The way of learning in university is very different from high school, so I can't get used to it yet. You're Jiang Xinyu, right? At that moment, a gentle voice sounded beside Wang Lan's table. The 3 people at the table looked up at the same time and saw an unusually handsome senior standing at the side, staring at Jiang Xinyu. Wang Lan frowned. Wang Lan was not so narrow-minded as to reject all people of the same gender who were close to him. However, this person was staring at Jiang Xinyu without blinking, and there was no one else in his line of sight except for Jiang Xinyu. This made Wang Lan a little annoyed. This was the first time they had met. Let me introduce myself. I'm Duanmu Yi from the Duanmu family in Shanghai. I'm a third-year close combat student. Every year when new students enter the school, the various clubs in the school will look for outstanding new students to join. I founded the Takashi Hoshi Technology Club, and I'm determined to develop technological products that are suitable for Takashi Hoshi's battles. I heard that classmate Jiang Xinyu's family manufactures Takashi Hoshi equipment. I think we will have common interests and topics to talk about. I sincerely invite classmate Jiang Xinyu to join the Takashi Hoshi Science and Technology Club. Not interested. Jiang Xinyu lowered her head slightly and said coldly. Student Jiang Xinyu, don't be so quick to refuse. The Takashi Hoshi Science and Technology Club won't take up much of your time. Most of our time is spent hiring muggles from other schools to help us with our research. Once we find something suitable, we can send it to the relevant departments for evaluation and mass production. Therefore, we're only providing the platform and acceptance. You don't need to do the research yourself. If classmate Jiang Xinyu is willing, you can just do it in name. Are you done? Jiang Xinyu's tone instantly dropped. XINU, forget it. I don't think the food in the cafeteria is that good. Let's go out and eat. The 2 of them stood up tacitly, picked up their plates, and left. Wang Lan took a step forward and stopped. He turned around and looked at Lan Qi. Senior Lan Qi, you're not coming? Oh, okay. Lan Qi hurriedly stood up and cheerfully ran over to Wang Lan. Duanmu Yi, who was rooted to the spot, was slightly startled. Since young, he had never received such cold treatment. Did I not say my name just now? That's not right. I already introduced my name and the Duanmu family. In this world, is there anyone who doesn't know about my Duanmu family? The Duanmu family of the 4 great dragon guardians. There's no reason for them not to know. As he thought about it, his face gradually turned cold. Where are we going? Lan Shi asked as she held onto Jiang Sinyu's arm. Jiang Sinyu looked at Wang Lan. Ask him. He's treating. Let's go to Phoenix Plaza, Wang Lan said casually. The 3 of them called for a taxi and left. Shanghai Cebu Gakuin's management was rather lax, especially for Wang Lan, who had the permission to go out. The strict management of the school was responsible for the safety of the students, but Shanghai Cebu Gakuin was responsible for the safety of the students. Ha! Shanghai Cebu Gakuin's students thought, who asked you to be responsible? They were a group of the top Takashi Hoshi in the country. You still have to worry about their safety? When they arrived at Phoenix Plaza, the 3 of them entered the huge commercial center. Like other commercial centers, the restaurants were on the top 2 floors. Holding the escalator, the group of people slowly went up. XINU, who didn't give Duanmu any face today, are you really okay? Lan Shi asked worriedly. Duanmu? Who's that? Wang Lan frowned and asked in a low voice. So you guys don't know? I thought you guys knew. That's troublesome. In the school, Duanmu has a lot of influence, including the student council. Even some teachers have a close relationship with the Duanmu family. If Duanmu doesn't know, then the Duanmu family should know, right? One of the 4 dragon protector clans? I'm not sure, but Senior Lan, what era is it now? Are you still worried about a certain family or a certain person? This is an era of law, okay? Wang Lan's heart gradually became more and more serious, but he did not say it out loud. Serious, not because he was afraid, but because he had to be on guard. The Duanmu family is one of the 4 dragon protector clans. The 4 dragon protector clans were the imperial guard clans of the Jade State. Later, Emperor Rind announced his abdication, ending the dynasty's rule. But before he abdicated, he had already changed the imperial clan's power. Although they handed over their authority, their power still existed. After more than 100 years of war, the forces of that time had been completely scattered, but the Duanmu family had managed to survive. The Duanmu family is one of the top Takashi Hoshi clans in the Jade State. Their power is spread across various fields, including business, finance, military, and the Wasteland Reclaimer Corps. In Shanghai, no one can ignore the existence of the Duanmu family. Duanmu is the only son of the Duanmu family's head, and also the future head of the family. Duanmu is very good at winning people's hearts. Since the beginning of his first year, he has been active in the school's social circle, building a huge network of connections for himself. In the school, Duanmu Yi's reputation is divided. Those who were not part of Duanmu Yi's faction hated him, because this person was narrow-minded, vengeful, and lustful. However, those who are on good terms with Duanmu all praise him, saying that he is generous and loyal to his friends. The so-called vengeful attitude is also interpreted as protecting his own. You guys didn't give him face today, so be careful that he will take revenge. Would he dare? Jiang Xinyu sneered. Hey, this Lan Xiaoxiao restaurant is popular online. Let's eat this one. Lan Shi suddenly pointed at the signboard, not far away. Lan Xiaoxiao's dishes pay too much attention to the appearance and neglect the taste. Although they spend a lot of effort to promote their dishes on the short videos, they can't stop the situation of losing money. As of now, they haven't made any improvements. They might move out in a few months, Wang Lan said calmly. Wang Lan, have you stayed in Shanghai before? I come here occasionally. Lan Shi looked at Wang Lan's back, and the corner of his mouth twitched. Could it be that he thinks it's too expensive and can't bear to part with it? Then what about this one? The Taste of Disheng? Disheng restaurant opened by a Northeasterner? Do you think it's authentic? You even know this? Lan Shi felt more and more that Wang Lan was spouting nonsense. You even know where the boss is from? Do you think this is your home? Let's not talk about this one. In the entire Phoenix Plaza, I know all the details of the 1,500 shops. Lan Shi, Phoenix Plaza belongs to Wang Lan. All the shops in Phoenix Plaza have to pay rent to Wang Lan. Jiang Xinyu added appropriately. Wow, Wang Lan, you're rich too. Actually, it's not that bad. Sinyu's family is rich. I just need to understand the business situation of each shop. Every year, I will eliminate some shops that are not doing well. Although they don't owe rent, they're still using Phoenix Plaza's brand. I have to be responsible for my own brand. Here, this fisherman's night boat has been operating in Phoenix Plaza for 5 years. Its reputation and service are top-notch. Let's eat here. They entered the restaurant and sat down. Just as they finished ordering, a middle-aged man walked out from the back hall. Young Master Lon is here. Your presence brings light to my humble abode. Boss Dong, I wish Boss Dong a prosperous business. If young Master Lon can come to my humble abode, then my humble abode must be prosperous. Did young Master Lon get into a university in Shanghai? Then you must come here often. I will give you a 50% discount. Okay, then I won't disturb young Master Lon. I will go to the back hall and urge them to hurry up. After saying that, the boss left with a smile. The dishes were served quickly. The aroma was enticing, and the presentation was exquisite. It was not inferior to those celebrity restaurants at all. Suddenly, Jiang Xinyu, who was scrolling through her phone, exclaimed in surprise. Aunt Xiao Wang is on the news. My aunt? Let me see. He took Jiang Xinyu's phone. It turned out that Penguin had pushed the news. His aunt had published a paper on the genetic coding technology that would change human biology on a technology forum. This paper had caused a sensation in the biology world. His aunt had published this biological molecular coding formula for scientists all over the world to study. Because of this, his aunt was praised as a great scientist who would change the world. This great coding formula would become the cornerstone of biology, pushing human biological genetic technology into a new and unknown territory. Although this formula was still waiting to be verified, it did not hinder the world's belief in this formula. This was because Jai Biotechnology had developed the Life Potion number 1 based on this formula, which had overcome 90% of cancer cases. Although only half a year had passed, Wang Lan knew that his aunt's company's assets had skyrocketed by more than 10 times. You could never imagine the desire for life of someone who was on the verge of despair. A life potion was only tens of thousands of yuan, but many people who were terminally ill would give millions or even tens of millions of yuan as thanks after they were cured. If Jai Biotechnology had been listed, its market value would have skyrocketed to a terrifying level. Dr. Wang Qi, I read about it yesterday. But, although science knows no borders, is it really a good idea to publish such an important formula? Shouldn't this be the core technology of Jade State? Lan Qi asked curiously as he stirred the drink in front of him. This is different. Take E equals MC2, for example. This formula has been around for more than 100 years, but there are still countless people studying it. The genetic coding formula is the same. This is a vast and great formula that requires the efforts of the entire world to apply. Just knowing the formula is useless. To apply the formula requires a lot of technical knowledge. I believe that Jade State will continue to lead the world. Plus, in the current world, we humans are a whole. If we can plant a biological genetic technology tree outside of energy science, our strength will double. All right. I saw that the netizens were all praising Madame Wang Qi's actions. Even those old professors from the National Academy of Sciences didn't say that Madame Wang Qi shouldn't have released the formula. It seems like I was too narrow-minded. Lan Qi quickly admitted his mistake. You're tuning into the Warrior Lore YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.